Welcome welcome all to another Slay the Spire stream. Yesterday I think, won Ascension 18, so now we're on Ascension 19. That's not what we were looking for. Use that. There we go. Yeah, so we won 18 yesterday, now we're going to get started on 19. Let's do it. 19. Bosses have more challenging movesets and abilities. I have no idea what that means because I usually play on Ascension 20, so I guess now they're doing the things that I'm more used to. Random rare card, which is good but not as good as this, as we've explained in the past. 100 gold is, I don't think something we've thought about a lot. We could probably go to this shop with 200 gold and buy whatchamacallit, relic. It's not a super appealing path because we do probably 4 hallway fights and then an elite with no fire. So we're not super excited about doing that path. If we were super excited about doing a specific path that had a shop on it, then I think it'd be worth considering doing the 100 gold. Move this so I can see chat. As it is, we're probably going to do this late shop so we can get to this elite, maybe? Or maybe that late shop after doing this elite. There's not very many fires. And the fires that do exist are kind of awkward. So maybe we actually do this mega elite, even though it's Act 1. You do get 2 relics from doing a mega elite, right? So you do sort of get stuff faster. Plus it's right at the end of Act 1 when we're going to be most ready for it, after a store. So I think we're going to plan on that if we can find a good way to get there. And we can get there either through doing this elite and then fire path, or this elite and then fire path. Both of which seem reasonable. This one requires at least 4 hallway fights and then an elite, so we're going to do this one because it's probably 3 hallway fights and then an elite. Okay, we're definitely not going to remove 2 cards by taking 18 damage. 18 is a lot of damage, and the cards we want to remove are strikes, but we can't remove them yet because we need them for killing Act 1 elites. So by process of elimination, we're going to take my favorite option and get a random boss relic. Black Star. So we're even more all in on killing as many elites as possible. And just to verify, there is no 3 elite path. There is actually a 3 elite path. There's a couple. So we can go here or here, and then this guy, and then that guy. So maybe that's better, since we now know that we are Black Star. It's a little bit risky to take 4 hallway fights and then an elite, but then we've got a fire, and yeah. The real problem with this is there's not really an off-ramp, right? Like after this elite, we can take this hallway fight and then go here and do question mark, store fire mega elite. But once we're on this path, we're kind of on the path. I guess once we're here, we can decide and then get back out of it. So we're not really making the decision yet. We'll make a decision after this fight. Okay, I do want to go into Eruption against Cultists, because you tend to be able to kill them on turn 2, sometimes. Like this time. Okay, no attacks on our floor 1 reward is really unfortunate. We could take Crescendo. Crescendo is a pretty good card. Gee. We could take Simmering Fury. Simmering Fury is pretty good against Automaton, because like, we need a big power spike next turn so that we can change his shape back to dormant mode, right? Or else he's going to hit us for 20. But you don't really know what's going to be in your hand next turn unless you've got a lot of retained stuff, so it seems kind of dangerous to just like blindly say, I'm going to go into Wrath next turn. But nonetheless, this is sort of the most aggressive option we've got, and we need to pick something that does damage. So I guess we're picking Simmering Fury. This is kind of a yikes starting turn, but I guess we're going to block for 13 and take 5. I hate it when they both attack. No, like, floor 2 deck is ready for both of them to attack. Okay, so they're attacking for 14. We can block for 10 and Simmering Fury. Going into Wrath next turn will give us 5 mana, and drawing 2 extra cards means we probably can kill both. And we can't block for any more than 10 anyway, so let's do it. Alright, so we have 5 mana, and we can go back into Calm if we want. So we can strike, defend, Calm. Or we can... He's only hitting for 8, so we can strike, Simmering Fury, Calm. Which seems pretty fun. So we're calming down just enough to get hit. Hey Kieran, good morning. How's it going? What am I doing wrong? I'm just trying to punch some slimes. Well, we need an attack really badly, so we're taking either Sash Whip or Follow Up. Sash Whip is good because it blocks for us a little bit. Also, it's block that we can actually use against Gremlin Knob. Since this is a Black Star run, and we're fighting 3 Act 1 elites, hopefully. So we now know as much as we need to know to make this decision about whether we're going right or left. Stupid slimes, I hate them. Wish I could punch them again. They're all gone. So are we trying to go for 3 elites? We had a bit of a weak start because we got Simmering Fury, which we're not super excited about on floor 1. But I think if we take Sash Whip, the dream is still alive of doing 3 elites. Sash Whip obviously not super good against sentries because they have artifact potions, or artifact charges. Yeah, but if we go this way, we'll get some more hallway fights. We get to get a couple more cards before we're actually fighting the elite. Yeah, so Sash Whip it is. The boss is Guardian. We might just want to use this potion right now to get some block. Because I think this potion is probably worth at least 10 health right now, so I'm going to use it. Looks like we're just getting 10 out of it. So we can either Sash Whip or Simmering Fury here. If we Simmering Fury, we are guaranteed to get Vigilance next turn, so we will be able to get out of it. But we're not in Vigilance right now, so we don't get the extra mana. So we would probably just be Strike Vigilancing. So it's a little bit of a why situation, because we can just Strike Vigilance next turn already. So I'll just get in some damage. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of fights with Slime Boss. Watcher is really good against Slime Boss because you tend to be able to like go into Wrath, especially in Act 1. Like most of your damage comes from Wrath, and you can just like Wrath and get him popped at like 10 health or something. All right, so we're gonna Wrath and Vigilance, like we talked about, or Strike and Vigilance, because that blocks out. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Guardian bosses and a lot of Time Lords, we get the weak charge, but it doesn't do anything. Eruption does not do enough damage, so I think we're going to Simmering Fury double block here. Try to take as little damage as possible. While also going into Beast Mode. Bowling Bash is super good against sentries, which we're a little bit weak against because we took Sash Whip. Flying Sleeves is kind of good against all of them. It's not as good though. Flying Sleeves is good with Simmering Fury. since you get to know that you're going to have that attack in hand next turn. So you're going to be able to spend that 5 mana and get a good attack in. But, you know, Flying Sleeves only does 8 damage, and Bowling Bash does minimum 7 damage, so it's not like a huge delta from best to worst. And Bowling Bash max is like so insane, and it helps us deal with AoE fights, so we're going to take Bowling Bash. I'm going to take this question mark. Let's see. Should I take the question mark? We're going to lose a little bit of health. So we've exhausted our pool of easy fights. So we could get like Thieves or something next, or like 4 Gremlins, which are some pretty yikes fights. So we kind of want to save some health for the elite by avoiding that. We can't heal for 22, but we can heal for 20, or we can take the max health. I don't think we're taking Regret, because there's no shop. Let's see, what are the pros and cons here? So, if we take max HP, then we heal for a little bit more at this fire, because we're probably resting at that fire. If we take the max HP, then maybe we'd be able to take an upgrade at that fire. So this is kind of like a fire, except I'm trading an upgrade for 5 health, 5 max health, which is a pretty persuasive argument to take 5 max health, because that's a strawberry, right? And strawberries are better than upgrades, although an upgrade on Sash Whip would be really nice. Or Bowling Bash even. So yeah, we're going to take the max HP because I think we can survive. And then it increases our leverage on this fire. It makes us heal for potentially 2 more. Yeah. Alright, we got Big Slime. We can't block at all, awkwardly, but we can weaken him, so we're going to Simmering Fury Strike Sash Web. Get in some damage and try and mitigate the incoming damage. So this is among the worst case scenarios for how much damage we are taking. We can do 36 to him, which definitely pops him. It does leave us in Wrath mode. Bowling Bash is coming up next turn, and Bowling Bash will be extra good because there will be 2 slimes to punch. So we'll probably be able to kill one with Bowling Bash, and hopefully either block the other one or go back into Vigilance. Yeah, so he's going to do 8, so if we kill this one and block for 8, then that's enough. We could also do 18 damage to him, that's not enough. Yeah. He is going to weaken us now, but, you know. Oh, no, I guess huh. Why did I think that wrong? That's weird. So we're going to double block here, and then Simmering Fury, and hopefully finish him off next turn. Yeah. Alright, Consecrate's super good against sentries. They're not super good, but pretty good. Reach Heaven is really good against Gremlin Knob, though, and Gremlin Knob is a big problem. Reach Heaven also pretty good against Lagavulin. Our next fight is our first elite, so let's take a look at our deck and see which one we're worst at. Oh no, let's see, does it? So we are dropping 85% of frames, so that is horrible. And what's happening is I'm currently uploading a YouTube video. Let's see, can we cancel this? Yeah, so we're gonna close that. Okay, yeah, are we doing better now? Good morning, Agnes. Yeah, sorry about that. I have been trying to free up space on my hard drive because I've been recording all these, and I've got like 40 gigs of just me playing Slay the Spire videos. But yeah, it looks like we're doing better now. We're not dropping any more frames, and yeah, okay, great. Turns out uploading a video to YouTube and trying to stream at the same time, not a good idea. I was not aware I was doing that. I apologize. Okay, so we don't need to specialize against sentries because we already got Bowling Bash. Bowling Bash is our answer to sentries. So I think we're going to take Reach Heaven to just, like, beat up elites. And we found Lagavulin. Okay. So this is a great way to start Lagavulin. We get to develop Calm. We probably want to Simmering Fury on the turn we pop him. So Simmering Fury is happening next turn. Unfortunately, we can't like enter Wrath and then Reach Heaven, which is our like biggest damage attack. Actually, we can. We can Simmering Fury and Reach Heaven to wake him up, and then we're going to be in Wrath mode, but we have Through Violence, which does 40 damage. It seems worth it, right? So we're basically just skipping this turn. So he's waking up no matter what, and yeah, if we Simmering Fury and Reach Heaven, then we get to draw a bunch of extra cards and do 40 damage. Although doing 2 damage to him to wake him up is not impressive, but it's marginally better than doing 0. We're doing 40, and then we're going to weaken him, and then we're probably going to go back into Vigilance. He's attacking for 15 right now, and we can block for 13. Or we can block for 8 and do 20. Let's see, let's try to math this out. So if the plan is to block for 8, then we're taking 7 and doing 20 damage. If we do that 20 damage, he's at 35 and we can probably kill him. Actually, I think maybe there's a better line. I think maybe the line is Vigilance, Defend, Simmering Fury. Because if we Simmering Fury, we draw 7 cards next turn, so we draw all of these except for 1, and we're back to having 5 energy and being in Wrath. So if he's at 55, then we do, if we draw all 3 strikes and let's say Eruption instead of Bowling Bash, or I guess the minimum damage we can get is 3 strikes and Bowling Bash, so let's figure out that. So each strike would do 12, so that's 36, and then Bowling Bash would do 14, so that's 50. So if we want to get lethal next turn, and we're not assuming we draw Eruption, then we can Vigilance, Strike, Simmering Fury, and we're limited to taking 7 damage this fight, which seems fine. Right, and we did get the minimum damage. Eruption did not get drawn. So 12, 24, 36, 50, yeah. Alright, and we got a Bird-Faced Urn and an Oddly Smooth Stone. Interesting. Those are some very defensive relics. We get to heal on our powers, and we get to block for a little bit more. None of these are powers. Okay, so we are not facing Lagavulin in the next fight, most likely. We do get a chance to upgrade here. I think our health is high enough that we can upgrade. Thanks, Agnes. Just Lucky is slightly better than normal because we have Oddly Smooth Stone now. Let's see. So we've got a bunch of attacks. We could take Crush Joints, which helps us sort of Alpha Strike people when we go into Simmering Fury. So what does Bird-Faced Urn tell us about what we want the run to be? That's the real question. So like, we don't have a power right now, but eventually we're going to pick a power. And then we kind of have a little side quest with Bird-Faced Urn to play all the powers in the deck so that we heal as much as possible. And so we're probably going to want to pick at least like 3 powers. And so those powers could be like Fasting If we pick Fasting, then Just Lucky is really good. Fasting stacks with both halves of Just Lucky, as well as it being good with the Smoothstone. If we pick like Diva Form, then maybe Pray's the best thing, because it has some sort of marginal draw associated with it. If we pick like Establishment, then none of these cards are really particularly relevant. Let's see, what if we pick like Mental Fortress? Because I think Mental Fortress sort of fits the best, right? Because we've got Simmering Fury, so we're trying to like switch stances. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take Just Lucky for now. It stacks with all the Smoothstone. It helps me even out my draws. And I already have Sash Whip, and Sash Whip and Crush Joints overlap a little bit. Just Lucky also works with Sash Whip in that it's an attack that you can play at the end of your turn to make sure that Sash Whip is active at the beginning of next turn. It's not a tremendously impactful card by itself, but, you know. Extra 5 damage on that. We're probably going to do Bowling Bash because the next elite has a 50% chance to be Sentries, which is pretty important. But we could also do Sash Whip. If for some reason we knew the next fight was Gremlin Knob, then we would probably take Sash Whip, because Sash Whip is really good against Gremlin Knob. Sash Whip, however, is not good against Sentries. So I guess the question is, which are we more afraid of, Gremlin Knob or Sentries? It seems like we have some pretty good burst damage with like Simmering Fury and Reach Heaven, so I think we're not too worried about Gremlin Knob. I think we're more worried about Sentries right now. So we're going to upgrade Bowling Bash. Bowling Bash also is fine against Gremlin Knob. It does damage. I wish this could heal instead of getting an upgrade. We could get a Transform and maybe get a power out of it. But I think we probably just want to upgrade Sash Whip. So it turns out we were resting twice. So now we've got the upgrades that are good against both. That's neat. Ooh, Hornclate's really good. It's good both against both Gremlin Knob, because he attacks hard on turn 2, and against Sentries, because they attack for 20 on turn 2. I guess Gremlin Knob only attacks for like 8 on turn 2, but still. It's hard to get block against Gremlin Knob. Okay. So we can Vigilance Defend and still have... oh wait, sorry, is that overblocking? So if we Vigilance and Just Lucky, we actually block. So we can also strike. Yeah, okay. So let's Just Lucky and see what's going on. He's going to Frail us. So I think we were hoping on drawing Bowling Bash next turn. Maybe Eruption Bowling Bash. Eruption Bowling Bash does 40 damage, so we should Just Lucky on this guy. Oh wait, we should strike him and Just Lucky him, since we're hoping to do 40 damage with the Wrath form Bowling Bash. And we don't want to waste damage as much as possible. So there's Eruption, so that does increase the chances of getting both Eruption and Bowling Bash next turn. But obviously it's still not guaranteed. Wow, we got it. Okay. Let's see. So if we do it, we have 5 mana, and then we spend 3 of it doing these 2, and then we can defend for 4. So he's going to take 20. We'll do 20. I'm going to block for 18. Could we also kill him? We're doing 9 damage to him with that. He's at 22, and these do 24. So yeah, we can just kill him. So yeah, it does matter to be efficient, because if we'd wasted a little bit more damage on that first turn, we wouldn't have been able to do that. Cut Through Fate is a top tier card. It's good in every fight. It's good in every archetype. It's just a good card. It's also good because we are doing Vigilance Simmering Fury things, and when you've got extra mana, Cut Through Fate helps you spend it. Halt is also pretty good, since we are jumping in and out of Wrath. Empty Body also is a Stance Dancing card. If we get that that 0 cost card that comes back when you change stances, Flurry of Blows. But we don't have that right now. And okay, so the next fight is either Lagavulin or Gremlin Knob. Halt is better against Lagavulin than it is against Gremlin Knob because it's terrible against Gremlin Knob. But Cut Through Fate is good against both. Cut Through Fate is particularly good against Lagavulin because you can use it while he's asleep, and then you can sort of set up your turns. So I'm going to take Cut Through Fate, both because it's the best card and because it's the best in this situation. Okay, so it is Gremlin Knob. So I think Simmering Fury is correct. Let's just Lucky first and see what's on top. Let's get rid of that. And yeah, let's get him. We do only have 3 mana here, but we get to weaken him. So now we're blocking out with Sash Whip. And Reach Heaven, let's see, so if we Bowling Bash Strike, we do 32 damage, whereas if we Reach Heaven, we do 20, so we're missing out on 12 damage now. But Reach Heaven does give us guaranteed through violence next turn, and that does 40 damage, which is lethal. So we'll take the guaranteed lethal. Wow, 0 damage Gremlin Knob fight. That's pretty nuts. Okay, so here's our game plan. We've got Preserved Insect and Black Star, which is pretty crazy. But we've got Kunai now, so that's how we're scaling defense. We're going to do 3 attacks a turn. So now we're really glad we took Just Lucky and Cut Through Fate, because those are really good at triggering Kunai. And Just Lucky benefits from the scaling dexterity. Plus, we have 2 things that scale our dex now, so that's pretty good. Conclude is good by itself, and we don't have any AoE to speak of. We are doing 1 more Elite, so we do need to find a way to deal with, let's see, so if it's either Sentries or Lagavulin, and against Sentries, our best card is Bowling Bash by far. But scaling block also matters a lot against Sentries. We're basically going to have to scale the block the first time through the deck, though, because the second time through the deck there's going to be a bunch of dazes in the way. So our objective is, first time through the deck, we kill one of the 2 outside ones, so that we're taking a little bit less damage. Through Violence also retains, so we're pretty good at triggering Kunai. I'm pretty excited now. That was a really good pick. So do we need Flying Sleeves to help try and pick up more Kunai triggers, or is Conclude a good enough card that we should just pick it? I think we do enough damage because we have Sash Whip plus, Bowling Bash plus, and Reach Heaven, which all do a ton of damage. I think we do enough damage, plus Sentries would be preserved, so they'd only have like 30 health or something. I think we do enough damage that we don't need Conclude. Also, Conclude tends to make things awkward later, because you're like, oh, I want to do 3 attacks so I can get my dex and then use my block, but you can't because one of your attacks ends your turn. So we're going to take Flying Sleeves to help even out and make sure we're getting a Kunai proc every turn. Alright, we've got Bowling Bash to do 20 damage to the Laos. Or we could Eruption on the Laos and Bowling Bash on the Slaver to do 40. But then we would take 40 and die. So maybe not. So we're doing 3 attacks, we're not playing Eruption, and those 3 attacks are going to be Strike, Bowling Bash, Strike. The only way we can arrange that to mitigate damage is to Bowling Bash on the Laos. So we're going to do that. And obviously the strikes go on to the Slaver. Pretty unfortunate RNG here. Man. So we're getting netted. So we're not going to be able to proc Kunai next turn. We will take 6 damage because there's no downside. But should we keep Flying Sleeves for the next 2 turns since we're not using it next turn? Or should we just use it now? It's hard to say. I think I'm going to keep it because those Kunai procs are pretty valuable. Not that 8 damage isn't also valuable. Oh man, what a nightmare. Yikes. We might lose this run just because of this fight. Okay, we can Vigilance to block out, and then Simmering Fury to set up to kill him, hopefully. Maybe we should have deck spotted just to save 4 health there. Man, what a brutal fight. Okay, Stance Potion. Man. So we have to get lucky in the next hallway fight and basically lose no health. And then honestly, with Preserved Insect, I think the Gremlin Knob fight might be easier than the last hallway fight, so I think we're gonna... because this is either Gremlin Knob or Log of Ulin, and we're pretty good against both of those, so I think we're gonna take our chance and do the 3rd Elite, even though we're at low health. But we have to get lucky in this next hallway fight, because if we take any damage, we're gonna lose. I think all of these are bad. Follow-up is actually pretty good with Kunai, given that like playing 3 attacks per turn is pretty hard when you have 3 mana. So it's nice to have another sort of quote-unquote 0-cost attack, other than just lucky. But it seems like most of the time we are trying to have to proc Kunai by having extra mana from exiting Calm. That being said, we can only exit Calm so often, and we only have 1 copy of Just Lucky, and we really need to kill the next fight really quickly, so we're going to take follow-up. Okay, so he's attacking turn 1, and we can only block for 12. If we Dex Pot, we can block for 16, so we would take 2. Other things we could do is we could Stance Pot ourselves to Calm, and then immediately go into Wrath. And then, so we'd do Eruption for 9, Cut Through Fate for 14. That would be 23. We might draw another attack. Hopefully like a... let's see. Well, we'd have plenty of mana, actually. So hopefully an attack that costs 1, like a Sash Whip. Or even Simmering Fury would be pretty good. But a Strike is probably the most likely. So we do Eruption and Cut Through Fate for 23, was it? Yeah, 23. And then Bowling Bash for an extra 20, so 43. And then a Strike for an extra 12, so that'd be... the 55. Oof, math. So it's either that. So we're using one of these 2 potions. If we use Dexterity Potion, we take 2 right now, and we get frailed. And if we use the Stance Potion, we have to hope a little bit that we don't see 3 defensive cards with Cut Through Fate. But even if we do, we still do 23, 43 damage, which is enough to pop him. So we're going to do the Stance Potion. We can't pop him without it, right? So it would be 9 plus 20. So 29, yeah, so that's not enough. Okay, so we're going to use the Stance Potion. Go into Calm. And then Cut Through Fate. We did find Sash Whip, which is among the best options, so that's great. And then we just got to deal with some little slimes. And we get to, yeah, we can just kill them. So, cool. We did it. Okay, so we got through that fight, but we didn't like, we didn't like super win the fight, you know? Like, we did have to spend a potion, and we did not get that potion back. Probably taking Protect here. We haven't taken any defensive cards other than Just Lucky, which doesn't really count. And Protect is quite good, especially against Guardian. It's obviously terrible against Gremlin Knob, but it's not like, even then, it's not the worst card. I don't think I'm really going into the second shuffle against Gremlin Knob. We're either killing him on the first shuffle or dying. But if we did go into the second shuffle, Protect wouldn't be in it. Yeah, I think this is probably one of those runs where we have to pray, right? Because we're at 16, so we're either surviving this fight or we're not. And embarrassingly, if we don't survive the fight, we don't get the cool Meow benefits next run. We might have to just like scrub a run to get to the Act 1 elite, because the Meow benefits you do get if you don't reach the boss are like not good for Watcher. So that's unfortunate. Okay, so we're taking Protect because it's the best card, and then we're hoping this is not Gremlin Knob, which it is. Okay, so we're going to probably strike follow-up double defend. As much as it hurts me to not... you know, we could single defend and take 2 and fit in a Cut-Through Fate. What could Cut-Through Fate draw us that we'd be really excited about playing? Bowling Bash. Yeah. You know what? We're never striking first. We're always Cut-Through Fating more than we're striking. So let's Cut-Through Fate and draw Bowling Bash. Okay, neither of these are Bowling Bash. We will keep the Protect because next turn is 20 damage. So if we assume that we're not going to draw Bowling Bash, then we can start working this guy down. And we can do a third strike to get a Dex, and then use our Dex Pot to block for 9. So we're disqualifying ourselves from Perfect, but only taking 1 damage. And who cares about Perfect anyway, it's just points. We still didn't draw Bowling Bash, which is a real bummer, but we can block out against turn 2 of Sentries, which is pretty exciting. We could do that with just a Defend instead of a Vigilance, but we'd rather be in Calm than not be in Calm, so now we're in Calm. We might actually kill this middle one with the Bowling Bash here. So we can Bowling Bash and just Lucky him to death. And then we can also kill this 7 health one, so we don't have to block, and we can keep our Protect. I guess let's just Lucky first. We don't really learn anything, but, you know, theoretically we're getting information from that. I was thinking I was going to Sash Whip him to death, because, I don't know, I wanted to apply weak stacks, but the weak stacks don't matter, and if I reach Heaven I get a Through Violence, so let's do that. Also, we've got 5 decks now, so I think we're going to be okay. It looks like we have to spend our Protect this turn. Simmering Fury is really good because we're holding Through Violence, so it's guaranteed lethal. So we don't have to think anymore, we just wait a turn and then kill him with Through Violence. Okay, so we did take 1 damage, but we did a pretty good job. I'm not really very excited about either Strike Dummy or Mercury Hourglass. Mercury Hourglass, I guess, is technically scaling damage, in that as the fight goes on, I continue to do damage, even if I don't have any... yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. I mean, Valhalla, you reach through glorious death rather than violence, particularly. I think you could get to Valhalla if you, like, for example, sailed into a really extreme storm and then died. I don't know if you necessarily have to be... I guess storms are themselves violence, huh? So maybe through violence. Is violence required for glory? Let's begin this Socratic dialogue. Chat, you're up next. Carve Reality is super good, and it is good with Kunai specifically, which we have, so we're gonna Pick that. We definitely can't afford to smith, right? We could be super greedy in smith. Let's see. So, okay, so turn 1, he's not attacking. Turn 2, or turn 1, he, like, armors himself up, right? So he gets, I think, 9 armor. And you have to do, what, like 45 damage to him to break him? Maybe it's only 40. Oh, wait. Okay, so the boss has changed, so I might have learned this wrong. Yeah, I don't remember how much it takes, so I'm going to look it up really quick. Opening up the Slay the Spire wiki. Okay, looking at bosses. Act 1 boss. The Guardian. So he always gains 9 block. His mode shift is 40 in Ascension 19+. Okay, so he starts out, we need to do 49 damage to him over the first 2 turns. Yeah, oh yeah, it's obviously super greedy. And sometimes you can't stop him from doing damage to you. Like, because we would die, at 16, he attacks for 16 on, assuming you break him on turn 2, on turn 4. So it's probably not very wise, and a lot of the cards in our deck do damage, which is pretty bad against him because he has damage return. So we're going to rest. I just wanted to think about it first. I don't even know what upgrade I would get. I guess, like, Protect, maybe? So yeah, I will rest instead. Alright, can we do 49 damage? It looks like we're doing a lot of damage this turn. So we're going to use all the cards that wouldn't stay in our hand. So that's, yes, yeah, recalling the shard seems like a great idea. Okay, so if we keep Reach Heaven, do we do enough damage? We're doing 3 damage with this. We're doing 3 damage, and then, gosh, I can't see. Carve Reality does 6. Carve Reality does 6. And then Bowling Bash does 10, and Strike does 6. So we're doing 12, plus 10 is 22, plus 3 is 25. So we're doing 25 this turn, out of a total of 49 that we need to do. So we need to do 24 more next turn. So we probably don't have time for Reach Heaven. Although we do have Horncleat up next turn. So I'm going to keep Reach Heaven, because I think we might just be able to do it anyway. I hate how this cancel thing stays there sometimes. Okay, also we have Smite, so pretty good chance we can get there. We only need to do 18 damage. Yeah, we can definitely. So if we Reach Heaven and Smite, we do get there. It's a bit of a waste because we're spending that Smite that we could theoretically spend at a different time. If we're not going to Reach Heaven, let's see. Oh, I forgot that our strikes do extra damage. So we can Reach Heaven and Strike to pop him because we have Strike Dummy. Oh, actually, just Reach Heaven and Cut Through Fate is good enough because Mercury Hourglass peeled off a little bit of his armor. Thanks, Mercury Hourglass. So is there an advantage to Cut Through Fating here? There is. We can find either Protect or Through Violence. And if we do, then we get to keep them. Yeah, here, I will post a link. Wait, it's a bunch of boxes. What do the boxes mean? Wait, oh my god, I have to click them. Oh, it's bubble wrap! Oh shit, oh, I just ruined it, sorry. Here, this is the link to the Discord. Everyone can go into the Discord now. There is some bubble wrap, it's amazing. Okay, so the most damage is Strike, or Smite, I guess, but Strike because we're trying to keep a Smite around. But are we willing to give up 2 damage to get a Cut Through Fate proc? So the things that we could get that are good are, if we get Sash Whip, we could put Weak on him. Or if we get Ascender's Bane, we can exhaust it. Or if we get Protect, we can keep it. Or if we get Through Violence, we can keep it. So there's things that are good. Oh, follow-up also is good. Okay, so let's cut through fate first, because for follow-up, I don't think we want to be in Wrath next turn. Yeah, so follow-up and Sash Whip required us to do cut through fate first, so now we're actually going to skip Reach Heaven. It's valuable, but it's less valuable than Weak. So we're going to Sash Whip, and I was planning on doing more attacks, but there's actually not really any point. Oh, I do get a Dex, so there is a point. Okay, and Dex is really good because he's going to be attacking this turn. Probably we're going to go into Vigilance and do a little bit of damage. Yeah, so this challenging moveset means he now returns 4 damage instead of 3. We are going to do Vigilance and Strike, because we want to get a little bit of damage in, and we want to block out. Okay, so now we've kind of like done all the stuff we want to do to, like we're retaining all the cool things. We don't have a ton of block this turn, which is awkward, so I think we're going to protect. And I guess we're going to lose the perfect on this fight as well, because we can't block for 16, we can only block for 15. It really sucks because we have so much damage this turn, but we can't really use it. I mean, okay, so unless we have, like, lethal? No, there's no way we have lethal. Let's get 200 health. Okay, we can block, and we're not going to play any of these. And it's going to make us sad. Okay, we can't really block for 20. Can we do 47 damage? So Strike does more damage than Flying Sleeves, which is kind of sad. But if we double Strike and Smite, we do 18 plus 12, which is 30, which is not enough. So we would just be taking 20 for no reason. So I think instead we're going to double block, and then Simmering Fury, so that we can try and get him next turn. I hope that I didn't just commit suicide, but I think it's probably fine. Okay, so we have Just Lucky and Sash Whip. Let's see, should I... So Just Lucky scries only 1. So there's no way I can, like, get Reach Heaven and then also get through Violence this turn. Yeah, there's no value for one of these 2 scries. So I'll do Cut Through Fate and get through Reach Heaven. Or maybe I need Vigilance? Yeah, so I'm in Wrath mode. If I don't take Vigilance, then I'm not guaranteed to get a way to get back into Vigilance. And then he can kill me. But it's a lot of damage this turn. And I don't know. I guess it's only 20 damage for 2 mana. So yeah, I'll take Vigilance. Because we're winning this fight by doing 3 attacks a turn and then blocking, right? Like, we don't need to go crazy here. So let's do these attacks because they defray damage, and then I'll do this one because it puts something else in my hand. And then I will Vigilance to make sure that I don't die. Okay, so we can just defend. We can, like, defend Flying Sleeves follow-up defend, I think. Is it the Watcher's whole gimmick to go crazy? I feel like the Watcher has a lot of gimmicks. Like, of the runs I've done just while streaming, like, one of them was a crazy, like, mana Conjure Blade thing, where it was like, you try to Conjure Blade for 15, and then, you know, just let Conjure Blade do its thing. And another one was like, you try to do like a ninja thing where you're constantly changing stances and doing flurry of blows. And one of them was just you do Blasphemy and just blow people up that turn. There's like a lot of different ways to play it, but I guess all of them are kind of described as going crazy. So maybe that's, yeah, sure, okay. The Watcher's gimmick is to go crazy. I agree. But then kind of every Slay the Spire character has to go crazy a little bit, right? Like, in order to beat the heart, at least, right? I guess Silent is the least crazy, but even Silent, it's like, I'll double your poison, double it again, and double it again! It's kind of crazy. Okay, so is there a way I can get 3 attacks this turn and not take damage? That's what I would like to do the most. I can attack, follow up, and attack, but that takes 2 mana. I could Eruption to get extra mana, or Eruption kind of costs 0. But it also means that I'm taking 16 next turn, and I would have to draw Vigilance to get out of it. So I don't think that's probably a good idea. So, okay, so instead of trying to get a Dexterity proc, I think we're trying to not take damage and do as much damage as we can. So, the Guardians, it's awkward because they use this icon to mean multiple different types of effects. So the Spikers in Act 3, they use the same icon, but they have a different effect than Guardian. Guardian says whenever you play an attack, you take damage, and the Spikers say whenever you deal damage, you take damage. So if you play Flying Sleeves against Guardian, you take 4, not 8. So if we defend Flying Sleeves follow-up, we take no damage, because we take 4 from Flying Sleeves, 4 from follow-up, and so we have 1 block left, and so we can use 2 defends to block all the damage. And still get the mana from follow-up. But I wish they wouldn't use that icon for things that mean different things, because it confuses me. Okay, so we need to block for 16. We can do that with Vigilance Defend. We could also do that with Protect, now that we've gotten 1 more Dex. It would be great if we could develop Reach Heaven. Cut Through Fate or something, but it doesn't seem like we can. We are going a little bit too slow, so we might not be able to break his, to transform him fast enough to avoid getting Steam Vented and becoming vulnerable, which is normally the plan, just because his, the amount of damage you have to do to transform him increases each time he transforms. But it's hard to imagine doing enough damage for it to be worth the damage return here. So we're just going to Vigilance Defend. Yeah, so now we have to do 60, which doesn't seem like something we can do. Although Sash Whip blocks for, let's see, so if he's weak, he will do, he'll do 12 instead of 20. So this is actually a really good breakpoint for Sash Whip. So we can do, although to trigger Sash Whip we have to play 2 attacks. I do have Twitter. Oh man. Okay, so here. Okay, let's sidebar for a second. I have currently no like content under the stream on Twitch, and I mean to have some content there eventually, but I just haven't figured out like what I want to put there and like found the graphical assets. So for now, I will answer your question by just posting my Twitter in the Twitch chat. But you know, ideally, there would be a pre-existing answer for those kinds of questions, which I will answer in Discord because you asked it in Discord. I should add stuff, yes. It's pretty silly. Yeah, yep. Links to Discord and Twitter are pretty much the top of top of my list. Also, YouTube, once that's up and running. Also, I've never posted about. Well, yeah, I put it in Discord because he posted in Discord. So I saw a little Discord notification. I was like, ooh, somebody said something over there. So yeah. Okay, so but also I haven't said anything on my Twitter account that even indicates that I'm streaming, and I haven't updated my bio there either. So it's all kind of like a sort of stressful mess of things that I need to update that I kind of want to do all at the same time. But yes, I should at least do something, right? Like the whole principle of doing this streaming is like, okay, it's more important to just do it and get practice and create content than it is to set everything up all perfect before you do your first thing, because then you never do your first thing. So just putting in the time and streaming every day is sort of compatible with just pasting links in the areas that point to different things and then slowly upgrading them over time. But I haven't actually posted the links into things. The next step that I'm trying to do is uploading the things to YouTube, and then once there is actually content on YouTube, then I can make all the things cross-link to each other, and then I can start upgrading the graphics. So that's kind of the plan, I guess. But uploading things to YouTube takes friggin' forever, and I've kind of got a little bit of a backlog, so I am working through that. Okay, anyway, so I think we decided that Strike, Sash, Whip, Defend is the play this turn. That makes us take 3 damage. Should I just start throwing in these smites? Because we're kind of just building up a bunch in hand. I guess we'll save them for Shimmering Fury turns. Because the damage boost is pretty relevant. So we'll do Strike, Sash Whip. It does do 12 damage, as figured. So Hoddington, right now I am just posting literally the entire stream on YouTube, which is a bit silly. It's eventually it should at least be a little bit edited, but that's, again, the philosophy is, just start making stuff and then improve the process over time, and editing is definitely something that takes a lot of time, so that's an incremental improvement I'm going to leave for later. So currently it's completely unedited videos that are just copies of the stream, which is probably not super valuable to this audience because you guys are here for the stream, so this is probably the way you would prefer to consume it. But hey, maybe you missed a bit, or maybe you missed a day or something, or your timing is different or something. So I respect your time and I appreciate that you guys are here. Yeah, it's true. I do swear occasionally, and I wonder if YouTube is going to demonetize videos or something. I don't know. It's not really something I'm super worried about, since I'm not trying to make money off YouTube videos. I'm trying to make money by developing video games and then selling those video games to people. So it's more important to me that there is a culture of people that are around either Twitch or YouTube than it is making money off of ads. But hey, if I can make money off of ads, then I can use that money to pay my rent and then use that rent to make video games. Twitch has a VOD exporter. Oh, that's interesting. I don't really trust Twitch exactly. So we were having some problems at the beginning of the stream where, because I was uploading things to YouTube, I was dropping a ton of frames uploading to Twitch. I don't really know what the encoding is. I guess this is a question that I can ask OBS later. But I don't really. I think I probably have a higher quality recording of it locally than Twitch has. So I think I would prefer to upload it from my computer. Plus, editing eventually. It's the correct workflow over the long term. Although it would be more convenient to be just press the button from Twitch. And I'm sure that's, Twitch wants you to upload your things to YouTube so that YouTube people come to Twitch. So it's definitely in their interest to make it as easy as possible. But we've all got dreams. My dreams are editing YouTube videos, apparently. So we're definitely going into Wrath mode. We're going to actually try to not break him this turn. But we don't have enough damage to break him, so we don't have to try super hard. So next turn we get to go into Wrath, and do a bunch of damage with our smites. This is our big payoff turn. I haven't counted. It's probably not lethal, but it's a lot of damage, so it's something. It looks like it is lethal. Cool. Diva Form. That's a card. Is this a Diva Form deck? It doesn't really look like a Diva Form deck, but I could definitely make it into a Diva Form deck. Yeah, good cards are good. Wish is also a good card. Wish is more of a sort of enabler card, where it's like you take Wish and then you get a bunch of gold and then you spend that gold at shops and then you become good. And then later you're wishing for plated armor, and also wishing that Wish wasn't in your deck anymore. Let's see. So so we're definitely an elite hunter, right? We're like Black Star, Preserved Instinct, Horned Cleat. You know, let's get them. Diva Form also, we have Birdface Urn, so that makes Diva Form gain 2 health. These decisions are always so hard to make. We've got a bunch of damage. We have Simmering Fury for our sort of like poor man's blasphemy. Turn. But really, we're just trying to win through Kunai, and Kunai is going to be enabled either by us taking an energy relic or Diva Form. So since we don't know right now if we are going to find an energy relic, we should take Diva Form, because if you take Diva Form, then you can take a lot of copies of Cut Through Fate. Not like I don't always take a lot of copies of Cut Through Fate. I love Cut Through Fate, but if you take Diva Form, you can play 6 Cut Through Fates a turn, and then block. So we're going to do that. They're all energy relics, so we're probably taking energy relic. I don't know if we are ambitious enough to take Busted Crown. Let's see, how many more cards do we need in this deck? We need a bunch of card draw cards, so we are not... We need card rewards, so we can't take this. How many upgrades do we need? It would be nice to get an Eruption upgrade, because that makes it work better with Kunai. None of these cards really need upgrades other than Diva Form. Diva Form upgrade would be nice. Just Lucky, it's kind of nice. Cut Through Fate, it's kind of nice. Yeah, nothing super needs an upgrade. And then Sozu, I think, is best when you already have 2 really good potions, and then you just don't have to ever worry about missing out on a potion again. And currently we have no potions, so I don't think we're going to do Sozu. So I think Sozu and Busted Crown are both out because they prevent us from getting something that we really need. And we really need an energy relic, both to enable us to play Diva Form in the first place, and also to enable us to play 3 attacks and defend. So we're going to take Fusion Hammer. I'm never super happy taking Fusion Hammer. I would much rather take like Cursed Key, for example, but you know, there's no Cursed Key in this choice, so we're taking Fusion Hammer. Okay, our Fighting Champ, we have 436 gold. I wish I could go to this store, but it seems really dumb to go to a store that guarantees you have to go to another store later. So I guess we're going to do this path. We need to be hunting elites, even though it's Act 2 and elites are scary. There's a 4 elite path where the first one is a mega elite. That's kind of scary, but also kind of fun. There's also just a bunch of fires. How many fires are on that path? Jeez, I'm talking about this path over here. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 fires on that path. So 4 fires, 4 elites, an early shop, and not too many hallway fights. I guess we're doing it. Let's see, what's the off-ramp here? If we lose this, if we are pretty crippled after this boss fight, we can still probably do a fire and do another one, and then maybe we go out this way. But actually that leaves us with a forced 30 elite too, so it's a bit of a do-or-die path, but we have Black Star and Preserved Instinct, so I think we just have to do it and hope. Okay, we can't trigger Kunai this turn, which is unfortunate. We can Reach Heaven and Simmering Fury, which is kind of fun. So let's give it a shot. Horncleat does nothing. Classic Horncleat. We can play... So we want to play 3 attacks, so I think we're just doing that. And I guess we'll play the 3 attacks that don't retain. And then kill him next turn, hopefully. Or he kills us or something. Oh look, we got follow-up. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, he took too long to come online, so we killed him. Fasting is really good. So fasting and... Oh, we didn't do our little side quest of Diva Form Birdfaced Urn. When I first got Birdfaced Urn, one of the first cards I mentioned was Fasting. Fasting is a little bit less good now because we have another source of scaling dexterity, but it also gives scaling strength, and that's pretty good if we're attacking 3 times a turn. Also, the debuff is not meaningful in the context of a long fight with Diva Form, so that seems good. Also, we have 4 energy, so we can afford to just like fasting and then punch people. Other options here are Just Lucky. Just Lucky was mostly good when we were trying to proc Kunai on 3 energy. It's still good now, but more because of the Scry than because of the it costs 0. Also, it scales with both. Excuse me. It scales with both dexterity and strength, which is nice. Yeah, fasting is pretty cool. I mean, fasting is one of the best cards for Watcher, and being able to pick fasting and Diva Form is pretty much run ending. We have Flying Sleeves, so we're definitely picking fasting, but we could talk about the other 2 more, but we're picking fasting, so it's not. Let's see, we're going to this store, so we could take a Writhe and then get rid of it, and relics are cool. Is there anything else we want to remove? We don't really want to remove the strikes because they trigger Kunai and we have Strike Dummy, although Strike Dummy does start to fall off in Act 2. No, there's nothing we really want to remove, so let's give ourselves something we want to remove. Lantern's pretty good. Lantern, I mean, that helps us play Diva Form. This is not probably good. So losing 37 max HP is pretty expensive right now because it would cause us to lose a lot of current HP as well. We also have Fusion Hammer, so we can't upgrade these apparitions. We have to play them on the turn we get them. And we already have like a late game defensive strategy, which is like dex stacking. So we don't need another one. And it makes the deck less consistent, and these are not attacks, and they don't benefit from deck scaling. And I'm going to stop coming up with reasons, and we're going to refuse. Okay, Pear is good, Bottled Flame is good. We don't have any combo with Chemical X. It does combo with a Collect that we could pick up later, but we don't really need to do that. What would we bottle if we're going to bottle a flame? Probably Bowling Bash. There's a lot of fights where Bowling Bash is just randomly a blowout on turn 1. Cut Through Fate is also an option. Cut Through Fate helps you have a good turn 1. Remember, we have Lantern too, so each fight we're going to start with 5 energy on turn 1. So if we did bottle Cut Through Fate, then we'd be able to fairly consistently get Diva Form off. Not like every time, of course. We're definitely going to get rid of Writhe. Although, let's look at how the math works out first. Make sure. Halt is reasonable, but we passed it in a card reward earlier, so we're not like crazy about it. None of the other cards are really like crazy good. Nirvana's good, but we don't actually have very much scrying. We only have the Just Lucky and the Cut Through Fate. And we don't really need another source of scaling defense. Panic Button is suicide for this deck. Metamorphosis is pretty good. Having random attacks that cost 0 this combat. If we didn't already have Diva Form, we would pick Metamorphosis right now. But we already have Diva Form, and sometimes Metamorphosis puts a bunch of garbage in your deck. So I'm not going to do it this time. But it's fun, because it works well with Kunai. So we're probably just going to take... We can't buy both Bottle Flame and Pair, so we kind of have to choose between those. And then we're definitely going to card remove, and then we'll probably buy a potion. And we can afford to do all that. So which is it, Pair or Bottle Flame? Pair's neat. Bottle Flame makes the deck work better, and Pair makes it so you're less likely to die. But we're about to fight a Fire Elite, so it's... sorry, a Mega Elite. They're on fire, but then there's also campfires, and I wish that there was an easier way to just say this. So Pair makes sure we survive, but we're already at 62. We do have to do a hallway fight before the Mega Elite. So we won't be at 62 after that hallway fight, probably. But I'm just not that excited about Cut Through Fate on turn 1. Like if it was, I don't know, if it was Wallop or something, I'd be a little bit more excited. We could do Sash Whip to try and block on turn 1. I think we're just going to do Pair, just because, I don't know. I don't know. We do really want to get either Diva Form or a Dexterity proc on turn 1, and Cut Through Fate does help do that. Cut Through Fate helps you do whatever you need to do, because it, you get to make the decision during that fight what you need. But Pair always helps you win fights, because health helps you win fights. I think we're going to favor making the deck good, even though it's not like a tremendous upgrade. Another problem with this is that we have Fusion Hammer, so it's going to be really difficult to upgrade Cut Through Fate. You usually tend to get an upgrade opportunity anyway. Although I think I did already see the question mark event, so I can't see that again. So Gambler's Brew is kind of just like a better Swift Potion, so I think we'll buy a Gambler's Brew. We have quite a bit of energy. We do have pretty expensive cards though, so it's worth considering getting 2 extra energy. Also, Diva Form is not upgraded, so like these 2 upgrades are like kind of burning a hole in my pocket right now. Fasting too, getting 4 is pretty good. But we had to take an energy relic, so let's see. So Gambler's Brew makes me more consistent in a fight, and Energy Potion lets me develop Diva Form. Okay, so here's the rationale. Because we're going to do a bunch of elite fights, and there's going to be a bunch of fights in a row where, like, if we draw really poorly, we lose. So I'm going to take Gambler's Brew, so that the first time we draw really badly and would otherwise lose, we will now have a chance of not losing. Okay, this is kind of my last chance to get out of this suicidal 4 elite line. But I mean, I'm looking pretty good with 62. Picked up some meaningful upgrades. So let's do it. Alright, let's cut through Fate and look for Diva Form. We could also Fasting to get extra damage on the cut through Fate. So if we Fasting, there's a chance we could also cut through Fate, strike, and do another attack to get our dexterity. But we'll know, we're only missing 3 damage because we'll know after cut through Fate what the answer is. Doesn't look like we're getting Diva Form. I'll take Carve Reality. And then I will Fasting and double attack. The hardest part of Spirit Guarding is blocking on the 22 damage attack turn, and being able to retain that Protect means we are in pretty good shape on that. Follow-up is comboed, so let's go ahead and do that. And then we're already blocked out with Horn Cleat, so we can spend the rest of our mana on Bowling Bash and Reach Heaven. You know, if we hadn't done Reach Heaven, we could have snuck in an attack there, and we almost would have lethal. In fact, we do have lethal now. Wow. Okay, so now we're in even better shape than at the beginning of that fight, which is crazy. Making attacks that cost 0 is pretty appealing in the context of Kunai. Protect is also good, but we already have one. So I don't think I'm going to pick that. And we already have a Simmering Fury, and the Simmering Fury's effectiveness is quickly diminishing. So we really need to pick cards that draw, and Foreign Influence doesn't do that. Although, it's close. If Foreign Influence, like, blocked for 4 as well as generating an attack, I think it would be a really good card. But I almost never pick it as it is. It's just... you don't consistently get, like, an answer to a question with Foreign Influence. You're just like, oh, I can apply poison now. Cool. So, yeah. So we're skipping Foreign Influence, we're not taking Protect, we're not taking Simmering Fury, we're skipping. Alright, here we go. Regenerating Book of Stabbing. Okay. Let's cut through Fate first and see where we are. So Sash Whip is super good here, so that's nice. We do have turn 1 Diva Form, and I think we're going to pick it. So we're going to Diva Form and Sash Whip this turn. Oh my god, I can't believe I did this in the wrong order. I'm going to restart, because that week is really important. I just got excited. Diva Form was in hand. Okay, so we're cutting through Fate, getting Diva Form, then we're playing Sash Whip, then Diva Form. So we do take 10 here, and we shuffle a couple of wounds. But we should be able to outscale him pretty quickly. So I wish I could do 3 upgrades and then Fasting and get lucky, just lucky, but we can't. Oh wait, I don't need that because I have 14 armor because of Horn Cleat. What a boss. So I can Fasting and triple attack and leave Flying Sleeves in hand for later. I don't really need Vigilance. Let's see. I might need Vigilance. Sure, let's leave it there. Just in case. Okay, so we have Protect, and so we can just Vigilance and Defend to almost block out. Vigilance, Defend to Reach Heaven seems good. Alternate line is we could Defend Vigilance, which blocks out completely, but doesn't do any damage. Yeah, I think I like Reach Heaven, Vigilance to Defend. Taking 1 damage is not a huge deal, although it does take 1 wound. I need to get that damage done. I like how he regenerates, but we have Mercury Hourglass, so it's almost like he's not a Mega Elite. We probably have Lethal here with Eruption and Through Violence, so let's just do it. Yeah. Okay. Whenever I play 10 cards, draw 1 card. That's pretty neat, because we're already playing a bunch of cards, so that seems good. Blood Vial, and we got a key! We're not fighting the heart, but we got a key. Okay. So Swivel is nice because it lets you play defending and attacking cards at the same time. Weave is cool because it lets you play extra attacks, trigger kunai, and Wave of the Hand is really good because it applies stacks of weak when you defend. We do have some sort of incidental defend cards, like Just Lucky, and that's the only one. I'm not sure why I pluralized it. Man, this is tough. I think Swivel's probably the weakest card, so we're going to eliminate that from consideration. Just because we don't have any, like, 3-cost attacks or anything. Like, if we were running Ragnarok or something, then... Or if it applied to Diva form, we would absolutely take Swivel. I think Weave is probably out too. It's cool to trigger kunai, but really I need things that are like drawing cards instead of being able to recur 0-cost attacks. And I don't know, Wave of the Hand might be out too. It's good, but it's not really what I need. Okay, so let's think about this. So we just fought a Mega Elite, which doesn't remove it from the pool, so we could fight Book of Stabbing again, although it would be a regular Book of Stabbing. So we've got the whole set of Act 2 Elites ahead of us. We've got Book of Stabbing or Gremlin Leader or Slavers. Which one of those is the hardest, and which one the card rewards fixes it? So Bowling Bash is great against both Slavers and Gremlin Leader. But for all of those fights, we're really trying to Diva form and do stuff, so it's not like Bowling Bash is the answer, it's more like outscaling them is the answer. I don't feel like any of them are a huge problem. I feel like we're pretty well equipped to deal with all of them. We just kind of clowned on Book of Stabbing. We definitely could have gotten a worse shuffle against Book of Stabbing. Like the turn 1 Diva form was good, and you know, turn 2 we got to do a bunch of damage because we have Horn Cleat. But like that'll happen again next time, the Horn Cleat at least. Finding Diva form maybe not, but I don't think I need any of these to win any of the elite fights that are coming up. Wave of the Hand is good against Champ. Because he purchases debuffs and just like attacks for a ton. So it's just nice to be able to get some scaling block. However, we already have scaling block, which is called Kunai, and Wave of the Hand neither generates block, which scales with dexterity, nor does it attack, which causes my dexterity to go up. So I think we're trying to scale our defenses on a different vector than Wave of the Hand is encouraging us to use. We're trying to play 3 attacks and 1 block each turn, and so that 1 block is sort of like big, and Wave of the Hand is like play a bunch of blocking cards, and then wish that this card said exhaust on it because you don't need to draw it again. Okay, so I've talked myself out of Wave of the Hand. I think that Swivel isn't good enough to make the deck. I guess there's an argument that we have not enough block cards and not enough draw cards to consistently get a block card. But in this deck, these regular defense are like pretty fine because like it doesn't really matter what the number on the card is because what matters is how much dex I have. So I don't think I'm tremendously persuaded to just take any card that says block on it. So it's really just, are we taking Weave or not? And I think the answer is not. We only have 2 Scry things. And we don't really need that much help triggering Kunai. So we're just skipping this card reward, even though they're all good cards. So we can't Smith, so we have to rest. We could take a Ruby Key. We're actually getting pretty close to being able to fight Heart. But we're not doing that, so... If it was Ascension 20, we would, but it's not. We could Eruption on this guy and Reach Heaven on that guy, which would be kind of fun. But let's just cut through Fate on the first guy and see where we're at. We got Bowling Bash. We actually don't really need it right now. Let's see. We kind of do need it, because otherwise we have to go into Eruption to kill him. Okay. I'll keep Protect too. So we'll go ahead and kill you with Bowling Bash and develop through Violence. I am not going to Simmering Fury, because it's kind of dangerous. Although we have Horncleat up next turn. And you know what? If we draw those two cards, we could actually find Diva Form in there. So I'm going to do it, even though it's kind of weird. Oh, crap, he's attacking. Uh-oh. Alright, so if we... So we are blocking for 14, but he's attacking for 66. So if we Sash Whip him, then he loses 25% of his damage. 25% of 22 is 6. So he would go down to 16 damage times 3. 16 times 3 is 48. Blocking for 14, so there's 34 left. And I would be able to block 2 times. So I'd still be taking 20. So I don't think that solution to this problem is good enough. And I think what we're going to do instead is look for Vigilance with this Gambler's Brew. So this is that turn we talked about where things didn't work. And we need the thing. I think we're going to keep Protect, though. Alright, so we didn't find it. But we did find Diva Form. Man. We can do Strike, Strike, Just Lucky, Protect. And that blocks for 4 plus 15. So that is 18 plus 15 is 33. Still taking a ton of damage. Let's drink our attack potion too. Oh my god, we can exit our stance. Whew. Okay. Alright. We got away with it. It wasn't smart, but we got away with it. Okay, so can we can attack Empty Fist, Just Lucky, and Diva Form this turn. Or we could do something else. Okay, so when we Empty Fist, he's going to go down to 33 damage. And we're only blocking for 14. We'll be blocking for at least 18. So 33 damage. Okay, let's be honest. We're going to go to this fire after him, and we have to rest. So we can take some damage. It's not like a disaster. So I think we're going to do 3 attacks and Diva Form, and we're just going to eat some damage. That's going to be okay. No, we don't want that straight. Now I wish I was in Wrath again, so I could through Violence. So we have to use 3 attacks this turn, I think. So we're going to Strike, Follow Up, and Smite. We have to choose either through Violence or Smite. Smite does less damage and costs more. Oh, apparently we could do Just Lucky instead. Wait, do we have lethal? Not quite. Almost, though. We have guaranteed lethal next turn, so let's just take it. Ooh, man, we could just end the turn and get lethal. We could kill his little friends. No. Oh, we could have tried to save up for fasting. We could have tried to find fasting and get 2 health back. It probably doesn't matter, but it could have mattered. There's Mental Fortress. We talked about that earlier. It heals for 2 and it blocks for 6 whenever we change stances. We've had some really awkward all-attack hands recently. So it wouldn't kill me to have an additional way of generating block. However, this doesn't scale with dexterity, and it isn't an attack, and it doesn't scale when we do attacks. So I think it's probably not in the deck. Got Goldeneye. Now we're missing that that weave. I think with Goldeneye, we're probably going to take more scry cards. Unexpected Shop. We can take a Distilled Chaos. Distilled Chaos is so good because it can play Diva form for free, and it can get me to my Kunai proc. Is there anything in my deck that like ends my turn? There isn't. And Distilled Chaos is the most expensive thing we can afford, other than technically Fear No Evil, which we're never taking. Should we never take Fear No Evil? It's an attack. Triggers Kunai. Enters Calm, which could help me get mana. We've had a little bit of problem with Simmering Fury getting us stuck in Wrath. But I think we should just stop playing Simmering Fury is the solution to that, and not pick another card. Yeah, so we're going to take Distilled Chaos. And then we're going to rest because we have to. Alright, so it heals for 21. So if we take any less than 21 damage in this fight, then it's fine. And we're going to heal it anyway. We're going to do 3 attacks, which means we can't do fasting. But let's do Cut Through Fate first to see what's up. Oh my god, thank you, Goldeneye. Such a good card. Just kidding, we're going to fasting instead. And then, I guess, defend? Yeah, I would rather... Let's see. It doesn't matter if we take... The first 21 damage is free. This is part of that first 21 damage, but I'm eating 14 of it right now, which highly increases the chances that I will exceed 21. You know what I could have done on that turn? I could have Cut Through Fated, Son Diva form, not drawn Diva form, and forced Distilled Chaos to play it instead. It's a pretty dope line that I did not see. Alright, so we took 8. So we have 13 more free health. He is threatening to take 7 of that free health from us right now, but then we're going to do 3 attacks and block him from doing that. We do have to use Flying Sleeves to get there, but I think that's fine. Oh wait, Sash Whip, so he's probably actually not threatening as much damage as I thought. So he's doing 25% less, so he's only doing 5 times 3 is 15, so he's only actually threatening 1 damage. I think it's probably still worth it to play 3 attacks and defend, because we get movement towards our win condition. We also are going to draw a card when we play the second card. So let's strike and Sash Whip, and then if we draw an attack, we don't have to play Flying Sleeves. We did not draw an attack. So we're going to Flying Sleeves and get that Dex, and then block out. And block even more, just because. Oh, not just because Ink Bottle. We're resetting Ink Bottle. When we play extra cards, we're doing it because of Ink Bottle. We should play all of the cards that we can because of Ink Bottle. We should think about Ink Bottle more. Ink Bottle. We have 4 attacks if we need them because we have Carve Reality. So we could play 3 attacks and then also play Just Lucky. We have 6 energy, so we should probably go into Vigilance this turn. If we play 3 attacks and then Just Lucky and then Vigilance, Just Lucky will block for 5 and Vigilance will block for 11. Together, those will block for 16, and we will take 2, which is well within our sort of free health range. So let's plan on that. I'll leave these attacks on top for next turn, because we're getting pretty close to killing him, and we have Protect in hand, so... Alright, do we fasting? I think we always fasting, because we can play our whole hand, so there's really no reason not to. So it's fasting. That heals us a little bit, so we're even further away from taking real damage. We'll do Strike, and... okay, so now we should think about how we're setting up Pendiv for next fight. Obviously, we're messing it up right now, but follow-up does the least amount of damage, so we're guaranteed to get 2 more attacks. Alright. We have to set up both pen nib and ink bottle, which is very difficult. We do not need this because we're already forced to rest when we go to rest sites, so that's kind of unfortunate. Our elite rewards are absolutely bonkers. We have white beast statue, so we always get a potion, and we have black star, so we get 2 relics. So we're really getting supercharged. Third Eye is a card that says block on it, which is good. And also we have Golden Eye, so it would scry for 5. We don't super need to like scry a ton, but I think taking 1 more block card is probably pretty good, and Third Eye is probably the best option for block cards that I'm going to see, other than Deceive Reality. If I saw Deceive Reality, that'd be very exciting, but you can't really count on that, so I'm going to take Third Eye. Alright, we heal to full. Actually, we're going to take Ruby Key. There's no reason not to, because we're at full health. And we don't get a card reward or anything. If we don't take any damage in this fight, do we just take the last... oh wait, no, the last one is from a chest. I forgot. Okay, so we're always going to cut through Fate. We might as well just cut through Fate on the Wizard, because he's almost dead anyway. So if we cut through Fate and reach Heaven on him, we'll kill him. Or we could just Diva Form. That'd be good too. And then I guess we still get to kill him. Been crazy lucky with the Diva Forms in these fights. Okay, so we get to Sash Whip on him to weaken him. We have enough mana to play these 3 attacks and these 2 defense because follow-up costs 0. So I guess let's do that. Oh, and we get to keep Protect and Block Out. I was totally aware that that ink bottle was coming because I 100% pay attention to ink bottle on every single action that I take because it's always important. We want to do 3 attacks, and the only way we can do 3 attacks is using Flying Sleeves this turn, so we're going to use Flying Sleeves. We should use Bowling Bash because it's really good in the fight, so Bowling Bash on you, and then Strike on you. And then I totally intentionally doubled the damage of Flying Sleeves. Oh wait, that's not true. And then let's go ahead and Simmering Fury. I keep getting into trouble by doing this, but we have Diva Form going, and all of his dudes are dead, so being in Wrath and drawing extra cards means we're probably going to be able to kill him. And then we're going to defend because of Ink Bottle. Ink Bottle matters. Have to keep thinking about Ink Bottle every turn. Okay, probably going to start with Fasting and then play all the attacks, and maybe kill him. Yeah, definitely killing him. Okay, let's think about setting up Ink Bottle and Pen Nib. So, Just Lucky is the only card we can play without killing him. Or the only attack we can play, so we should play Just Lucky, and then as many defensive cards as we can, and then kill him. This is the best setup we can do. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. And then these 2 are for setting up Ink Bottle. Oops. Okay. Well, whatever. Fossilized Helix is great. Teardrop Locket is also great. Fruit Juice is also great. We have to get rid of something to get Fruit Juice, but that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Cut Through Fate is probably what we're looking for. We've been looking for another attack that draws. Cut Through Fate is the only one, so we'll take it. This is kind of nuts. We already have the thing and we're at full health. I guess we have to rest because there's no skip on this screen, but it feels kind of silly. Well, that line was a lot easier than I thought. I thought it was going to be suicide, and here we are, like, skipping a campsite. Okay, so we could Eruption right now to get mana, but let's Cut Through Fate and see what our options are. None of these are Diva form. Do I throw them all away and look for Diva form? Or do I keep Sash Whip and play it? I think I keep Sash Whip. Which is, you know, a little bit disappointing, but yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. Okay, and then we got an ink bottle proc coming up. We also have 14 block thanks to Horn Cleat, everybody's favorite. I think this is when we distilled Chaos. We have a decent chance of hitting Diva form and Reach Heaven. Or we could get Cut Through Fate. Oh my god, I'm getting so many notifications. Why? Yeah, so let's do it. Let's see what's going on. So none of these are Diva form. We really need to get Diva form now. We did not get Diva form. We are pen nibbed, which is not something we had control over. Kunai is set to 0, so we could play 3 more attacks. Why do we have 5 energy right now? I'm confused by that. Also, did something get shuffled into my draw pile just now? Oh, we did get... Okay, we got 3 violence. Or we got, whatever it's called. Yeah, no, 3 violence is the... What's the other card called? Reach Heaven. So we got Reach Heaven, which was one of the upsides of playing the card. If we play Fasting, are we going to be able to play Diva form next turn? That's the real question. Other question is, if we play Fasting, are we okay taking 6 damage? Because if we're doing 3 attacks and Fasting, that's all of our mana. Yeah, 6 damage is not that much. Developing Fasting is good, and I do think we're going to be able to Diva form next turn, because he's probably going to either buff himself or debuff us. Probably buffing himself since we're already debuffed. So let's go ahead and get Fasting online. This also means that Flying Sleeves does a ton of damage, which is valuable with Pen Nib. And there's the 3 attacks. Oh, that was our buffer. As soon as I get Fossilized Helix, I forget about it. So, yep, Fossilized Helix. It's a card. I think we're pretty committed to playing Diva form this turn, even though it means we're taking 21 damage, which is way more than 6. But whatever. We're going to heal most of it. This is a boss fight. Alright, so we're playing 3 attacks this turn for sure. We could Eruption. If we think that we're going to be able to get out of it next turn. I don't really see any reason to believe that. So I'm not going to do that. So we're going to Strike and Follow Up, and then Just Lucky, and... Man, Golden Eye is so good. We're going to keep the 3rd eye, and get rid of the other 2. And that's our Dex charge, so we don't need to play either of the retained cards, and we can keep Protect as well. Champ, are you so mean? He says you call that a weapon, but like, Watcher is one of the only characters that actually has a weapon. Like, I guess Silent has a weapon too. Oh, Ironclad also has a weapon. Okay, maybe they all have weapons. The only one that doesn't have a weapon is Defect. Maybe that's the joke. Maybe that's why he's defective. He doesn't have a weapon. So we're probably going to use... we don't have any defensive cards other than 3rd Eye. I guess we have Protect, which we could use. But let's Cut Through Fate and see if we can find a better option. So there's the Defend. Let's go ahead and grab that. And actually, we'll take Sash Whip instead, because Sash Whip prevents damage. and then we can get the defend with the other Cut Through Fate if we want. Oh, Ink Bottle. Oh, you. Okay, so let's Sash Whip. So he's only doing 20 now. So if we get one more dex, oh wait, it's complicated. So because we're frail. So if we get one more dex, do we get one more block? Defends start out blocking for 5. They're currently blocking for 13 because I have 8 dex. 13, 25% of that is 4. Wait, what? Why? Oh my god, why do I always get so confused about frail? So 13 goes down by 4, but shouldn't it? Okay, because it would go down by 3 if it was 12, but it's more than 12, so it goes down by 4. So if we increase it by 1, it won't get decreased by more because we're not crossing a mod 4 point. So the next mod 4 point is when it blocks for 15, or 16 rather. Okay, once it blocks for 17, it'll get reduced by 5 because that's greater than 16. And 17 is why it's being reduced by 4 right now. It's being sort of rounded up to blocking for 17, even though it only blocks for 13, because 13 is more than 12. And 16 is the next mod 4 point after 12. Okay. So if we get one more block, one more dex, we do get one more block, and then we'll block for 10, and then we can use 2 defends to... All of this was unnecessary because Third Eye is currently blocking for 11, so I don't need another dex to block out. But I'm glad that I did it, because now I understand what's happening a little better. We could Cut Through Fate to draw Vigilance instead, but we're already in Calm, so we don't care about that. So we're just going to Cut Through Fate just to get rid of these cards, because they're not doing us any good. Okay, and we also get rid of a Strike, and then we'll go ahead and Third Eye with a fresh deck, and I'll get to control our draw for next turn. So we're going to take 2 attacks, get rid of the rest, and block out. Cool. And we've got to keep all our retained cards. Okay, so there's kind of 2 options for this turn. We can either try and set him to like 221, or we can just ignore the fact that he has a breakpoint and just do as much damage as we can. Let's Cut Through Fate first and see what our options are. We don't have a Wrath card, but there's a good chance we want to set him to 221 and then play Simmering Fury and try and kill him the next turn. He's going to be buffing himself, not debuffing me, so this is my last turn being weakened. Okay. Yeah, let's just go into Eruption right now. I changed my mind. We could do Through Violence, but if we do Through Violence, it's doubled, but then Eruption is not doubled. But then we could just do Eruption, and then Through Violence is doubled anyway. So if we wanted to stop at 221, we could just stop after Sash Whip. But because we're already in Wrath mode, I think we'll just play these 3 attacks, and leave these, the retained ones, for next turn when we're not weakened. Oh. Okay. Alright, so now he is purging his debuffs, but we don't really care, because we have so much energy. Pendant Through Violence, totally planned. Okay. There's Establishment. Establishment is one of the best cards in the game. We have a Protect, but that's really the only retained card we have. We also have Flying Slaves, I guess. And taking Establishment as the 26th card is not super exciting. However, if we take Establishment, then we get to take a second Protect whenever one comes up, and that would be pretty exciting. But fundamentally, Establishment is a sort of mana ramping card, and we do not need to do mana ramping because we have that other card, or whatever it is called, Diva Form. So I don't think we're going to pick Establishment. Omniscience is crazy with specifically Diva form, and it's crazy with both sides of Diva form. So if you're in Diva form, Omniscience is easy to cast. If you're not in Diva form is probably in your draw pile, and you can play it twice. So Omniscience is nuts. Blasphemy is good. Blasphemy was the core of a recent run that was successful, but we don't really need it right now. We're kind of going off with Diva form and card draw and Kunai rather than Blasphemy stuff. So we're going to take Omniscience. Sacred Bark is pretty nuts with White Beast Statue, so that's appealing. I like Tiny House. Tiny House also lets us upgrade a card. That's true. Not being able to upgrade Blasphemy, I didn't think about that. Tiny House does give us an upgrade. How likely is that upgrade to land on something we care about? So we've got 8 duds here. Eruption is another dud, 9. Vigilance is a dud, that's 10 out of 10. Simmering Fury is kind of a dud. I don't know, drawing an extra card is good. We're honestly just like not really playing Simmering Fury very much anymore. So we're 11 out of 11 duds. Reach Heaven is a dud, 12 out of 12. Just Lucky's pretty good. I would take an upgrade on that. So we're at 12 out of 13. Cut Through Fate is absolutely great. 12 out of 14. Flying Sleeves is kind of a dud. 13 out of 15. Follow-Up is a dud, 14 out of 16. Protect is good, 14 out of 17. Carve Reality is a dud, 15 out of 18. Diva Form is great, that's one of the best ones, so 14 out of 19. Fasting is good, 14 out of 20. Third Eye is good, 14 out of 21. Cut Through Fate is good, 14 out of 22. Omniscience is good, 14 out of 23. So 14 duds out of 23 possible options. So we're like slightly more likely than not to upgrade something useless. Also, this gets a potion, and our potion slots are full. Although our potion slots aren't really full because one of them is fruit juice, so we would just drink it. 50 gold is not super meaningful, but it does mean that if we are sort of forced into an early shop, we could probably buy a relic there. The marginal value of relics is dropping because we have tons of relics, but, you know, it's Slay the Spire, so you kind of just always want relics. Pandora's Box. Pandora's Box is pretty good in general. In this particular situation, it's really important that a lot of these cards say attack on them, and that a lot of these cards say gain X block. And that particular property is generally not preserved when you transform. You end up with a lot of things that like you get like a Spirit Shield or something, where it's like, wow, now I can use one card to block for a bunch, or like, you know, you end up with like Water, where it's like this card generates block, but I need it to specifically say be a skill that says gain X block, and like Water doesn't do that. So even though like Water would be good in the deck because we start in Calm and generally stay in Calm, I don't think that Pandora's Box is an option. Plus, it's against Sacred Bark, which is amazing. So like, there's no way that Pandora's Box is better than Sacred Bark right now. So it's really between Sacred Bark and Tiny House. I'm pretty sure if I don't take Sacred Bark, I'm going to regret it. Raising the max health by 5 is good, but not great. And most of the upgrades are duds. So the most common outcome of Tiny House is like, you get kind of nothing 4 times. But Sacred Bark is like, do you want plus 10 strength? Of course you do. Plus I get plus 10 max HP from fruit juice. This, by the way, is why you hold on to fruit juice instead of just drinking it as soon as you get it. So we're probably going to one of these shops. The 50 gold from Tiny House would have been pretty valuable there. We're not like afraid of non-elites, but we do want to fight elites if we can. There's a 3 elite path kind of up the middle. So we're probably going to take that. And we probably don't want to do 5 hallway fights before the first elite. So we're probably going to take this path that goes through a shop. This path is a little bit scary, because if this first elite fight goes badly, or like this question mark hurts a lot, then like there's no off-ramp. You have to do elite, hallway fight, hallway fight, hallway fight. And then we have Time Lord again. Time Lord is not super scary for this deck in particular, because we're not doing ninja stuff. We're just trying to play, get our dex proc every turn and then block, which is pretty good against Time Lord. Although it probably does mean that we're probably going to like let him reset instead of getting him close to the reset point and then killing him. We don't generally do enough damage to just overwhelm him. Because we just did this literally the same check with Champ, and we did let him. Did we let him reset? I think actually we killed him before he reset, so maybe we do have enough damage. How did we do that much damage? I guess fasting was there? We were in Wrath mode for both halves of it. Weird. We do have Reach Heaven through Violence. I don't know. I mean, that's enough damage to beat Champ in 2 turns, although barely. It's definitely not enough damage to kill Time Lord in 2 turns. So I think we're probably going to let him reset. We're going to do this path. Alright, shapes. Alright, don't forget about Fossilized Helix. We have Fossilized Helix. So if we block for 11, we block out. We probably just want to Omniscience for Diva form right now. Omnisciencing for Diva form is a little bit awkward, because then we lose our barrier to the Exploder, and then the Spiker hits us for 9. So there's no marginal value in this defend. So then we would probably just carve reality on the Exploder. I think I'm fine with this outcome. Oh yeah, Ink Bottle. Alright, so now we have Horn Cleat to block, so if we kill the Exploder, we take nothing. I think we can... We only have 2 attacks. That's unfortunate. They do enough damage if we fasting first. They actually don't do enough damage if we don't fasting. So we have to fasting. And then I'll do Smite first so that follow-up gives me mana return, which doesn't do anything, but I can spend 2 defense to develop Ink Bottle. Okay, nobody's attacking, so I'm tempted to go into Eruption. If we go into Eruption and strike... Actually, if we just go into Eruption, we can... we can strike him just to death. But if we go into Eruption, then we can hit him for 24 without taking damage, which seems good. A disturbing trend in this fight that I don't like is that I have not been able to trigger Kunai, which is supposedly the whole point of the deck. But maybe we've added too many cards to it. This turn we can trigger it. So I don't know. We triggered our Ink Bottle, so we want to play as many cards as we can before we kill him. So we're going to play Simmering Fury and defend. And then strike with Death. Ooh, Smoke Bomb is great. So now it's time to drink our fruit juice. Wallop is also quite good. Let's see. I think this is not a Wallop deck. Wallop is really good, but we have sort of limited strength scaling. We do have Pen Nib, so like a Pen Nib Wrath mode Wallop is pretty cool. but against Time Lord, we're probably not going to like go into and out of Wrath form. And Time Lord is, I think, powerful enough that he kind of distorts our card mix for the rest of the act. So I think we're going to skip here. Just Lucky is bad against Time Lord for the same reason, although he does scale with both strength, attacks, strength, and dex, and he has Scry, which is crazy with Goldeneye. Maybe I just tucked myself into Just Lucky. If we've had trouble finding enough attacks to proc Kunai every turn, then like Just Lucky is a pretty decent pick. It's unassuming. It doesn't do much damage. It doesn't do much block, but it does say gain X block on the card, and so it does scale with dexterity. And you know, it does cost 0, so you can use it on the Diva form turn. And it scries for 3. Yeah, I think in this deck, all of the numbers on Just Lucky go way up, and it's got enough numbers on it that it's just a good card. Tesseract, huh? How hard do we want to hit the Tesseract? I think we will just take 1 Tesseract card. I don't think there's too many colorless cards we want. What's the A-named card that upgrades all your cards? That card's pretty nuts right now, because we have no upgrades. I think I'm willing to pay 5 health to see if we can find something good. These are all bad. Magnetism does proc Birdface Urn, but it adds lots of garbage to the deck, and that's bad against Time Lord. I don't think Enlightenment is good enough to play. Yes! Apotheosis, thank you. That's the name of the card. Yeah, that does work if you play, what's it called? The Ironclad card that you can upgrade forever. So both of these card choices have Forethought, which is really unfortunate because Forethought's terrible. They also both have Purity, so they really want me to take double Purity or double Forethought or something, but I'm not doing that because I don't know. There's nothing I really want to exhaust, right? Like, let's see. Is there anything where it's like deep into the fight when we've been Diva form for 7 turns, where it's just like, get rid of this? Like Follow-Up isn't great anymore. We really just want like lots of defensive cards. Searing Blow, yeah, you can if you upgrade Searing Blow in a fight, it does keep going. And Searing Blow gets pretty nuts. Like if you get Searing Blow plus like 10 or something, it's like 6 damage per upgrade, or like maybe it's more. Maybe it's like 7 damage per upgrade. But you know, there's also a limit to how much it matters, because it's like, okay, you do 1 card that kills the thing. I bet it does. What does the upgrade potion do anything? Does Smoke Bomb do anything with Sacred Work? It probably doesn't. Escape from the next 2 fights. Yeah, I think we're skipping all these. Enlightenment's not good enough. Magnetism isn't good enough, and neither is Purity and Forethought, which is for some reason in both. Sacred Bark is the boss relic we just picked. It doubles the effectiveness of potions. So now my flex pot does 10. Rar. I guess we're going to this story even though we don't really want to, just because we want to fight these elites up the middle. Nope, we can't take that. Ancient T-Set's pretty good. We're going to be, let's see. So Ancient T-Set, unless this is a fight, triggers on this boss, and it triggers on Time Lord. So it only gets me 4 energy in the whole run, which is not much. I wish I could afford this, that's pretty good. Especially with the 10 strength. We should probably look at potions. None of these cards say draw or anything. There's nothing we're desperate to remove. So we should probably look at potions because they do double stuff. And I think strength potion because we can already scale our dexterity by ourselves. I guess we should take a card remove because we just have enough money. And what are we removing? Like a strike? Yeah, I guess I'll remove a strike. I don't feel great about it. But like, you know, if we feel like there's not enough, what's the ratio of attacks to blocks in this deck? Like, how likely are we to be able to get 3 attacks a turn? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, technically. 6, 7, 8, slightly more there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've got 15 attacks and 27 cards. So if you're drawing 5 cards out of there, you would expect, you know, like 2.8 of them to be attacks. And we've got a bunch of things like Flying Sleeves and Reach Heaven and Cut Through Fate that like help you find additional attacks. So I feel pretty good about the attack balance. So we are gonna remove a strike and take a strength spot. Is it really better than T-Set? Yeah, we don't want to play a ton of cards against Time Lord, so T-Set's value is somewhat diminished. It does hurt us a little bit against specifically this elite, but even then we might blow it on this hallway fight if that is a hallway. We're not taking Ragnarok or Flurry of Blows or anything. Second Protect would be kind of nice, but I think it's not as good as the Strength Pot. Of course I don't. Darn. I sort of thought that I had already used the Smoke Bomb to get out of one of these 2 fights, but I haven't. So we're not buying a potion. If we card remove, we can still afford the Protect. Makes me almost wish I took that Establishment. But I took Omniscience instead, so never mind. Omniscience was way better. Are we just card remove and leaving? I think so. Unless we want to ditch the Flex Pot? No, Flex Pot's too powerful. So we card remove a strike, and then we're going to leave. Darn. Do we want another Protect? I think we want another Protect. A lot of going back and forth on this decision. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take the Protect. Plus it's on sale. Alright, we have Fossilized Helix. Don't forget about Fossilized Helix. Let's look for Diva Form. We didn't find it. We did find another Cut Through Fate, so we can continue looking for Diva Form. We didn't find it. We found a Defend. Can we defend for 11? If we carve Reality and Just Lucky, then Just Lucky will block for... it blocks for 3 by itself. It blocks for 2 by itself. So it will block for 4, and then this will block for 7. So that perfectly blocks. So we will take a Defend here. Go. And then we've triggered Kunai, so we're going to block. There's Diva Form, so we'll play it next turn. If we Simmering Fury, we'll have extra mana to play Diva Form, but then we'll also be in Wrath form. But we will have our Fossilized Helix up. Wait, why is Fossilized Helix down? Oh, because it already applied its barrier or its buffer charge. Okay, so we'll still have buffer. So if we go into Wrath next form, it's not a big deal. Okay, so we're going to Diva Form and play 3 attacks. Or we could Diva Form and Fasting and run out of mana. Let's see, can we just kill him? So we're doing 20, 38, 40, 56, 62. Yes, we can just kill him. So no more thinking. Let's play some spurious cards to get Ink Bottle closer. I guess those cards are defend and fasting. Ooh, fasting also heals us. I forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, I like Spurious. Spurious. Is Duplication Potion better than Flex Potion? I'm gonna keep the Smoke Bomb because of fear, primarily. Yeah, I'm afraid of things happening. Let's see the card rewards before we figure out those last two. Talk to the Hand is great, but it's bad against Time Lord. And it doesn't do dex scaling, so we're not going to pick it. Inner Peace is also fine, but it's not good against Time Lord. And then Halt is okay. Yeah, Spurious just means like kind of unnecessary, or like, I guess is it a synonym with Frivolous? It's weird that they're similar synonyms because they sound so similar. Maybe, I don't know. There's definitely some different shades of meaning between those two, so I guess they're not synonyms. I think we're gonna skip this. And then 10 strength is so much, but like Duplication Potion can do some crazy stuff. Duplication Potion can help us get a yeah, I think I agree with Hoddington here. That seems like a reasonable definition of those two words relative to each other. So Duplication Potion can help us hit a Kunai proc, plus Duplication Potion is just absolutely bonkers with Sacred Bark. I guess there's an argument to be made that Smoke Bomb does not scale with Sacred Bark, and Duplication Potion does, and we've been kind of dunking on all of our fights, so maybe we don't need Smoke Bomb. So maybe that fear is wrong. Maybe we should just embrace the power of the deck. Yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, I don't feel like I'm going to lose a fight with Flex Potion and Duplication Potion in my inventory. And we do have, like, Fossilized Helix, so it's not like something is going to sneak up on us. But what if this fight is like Darklings, you know? Like, Fossilized Helix is not good against Darklings. So yeah, I think I'm still afraid, so I'm going to discard the Flex Spot, even though it's cool. We're going to take the Duplication Spot and skip the card. Alright. Okay, so we have Diva Form in hand. We also have enough block to not let the Repulsor take away our barrier. Is this called barrier? It's called buffer. Buffer is a pretty weird name for an effect if you're not specifically defect. I mean, I guess there are buffers for things that aren't computers, but maybe it's just because I'm a software engineer, but for me, a buffer is almost entirely a computer thing. So we're going to cut through Fate first and see what's happening. We can't Omniscience Diva Form because it's in our hand. If we play 2 Defense, can we get away with not playing Protect? I think not. So we're going to have to play Protect. So let's just get rid of all of these and see if we get a better option. Oh wait, we can't play Protect. We can't play Protect because we're going to Diva Form and we don't have enough mana. So he's going to eat our buffer, and we're just going to have to carve Reality instead. Unless we find something that I can't think of. Ascender's Bane. That's some small marginal value. Sure, why not? Let's punch the Repulsor here. Alright, we're taking 11. Good chance we can get out of that with Fasting and 3 attacks and a block card. We don't have any block cards that we can play like that. We can play, so Smite Flying Sleeves Just Lucky does give us our dex, but, oh wait, we've already blocked out because of Horn Cleat. Thanks, Horn Cleat. So we're definitely going to Fasting and play 3 attacks, and I guess nothing else. We could theoretically Eruption, and then I guess we could Eruption Vigilance to if we needed to block. So if we Eruption, then play the attacks, and then go back into Vigilance. Let's see, so Eruption is basically free, we still have 5 mon at the end, so we can still afford fasting Vigilance 2 attacks. So that seems good. It seems better than just playing 3 attacks, because then we get to keep the Smite. And then Flying Sleeves, let's see, how do we optimize the damage? So this will do 6, so that's 15, so we could put 15 on the Repulsor, wasting 2, or we could Eruption him, and then Flying Sleeves on the Repulsor. We're also getting a bunch of extra damage, so we could... Well, you know what? They don't actually use the same icon. I thought they used the Bronze Automaton icon for Spiker, but I was wrong when I said that earlier. They do use a different icon. I just thought about them as the same. Okay, so... I've kind of gotten lost in my thoughts here. We're going to be Vigilancing. So we're going to go up to 23 block, which is enough that if we just stayed in Eruption, we would be fine. But I don't think there's any reason to stay in Eruption. So we can punch the Spiker once and still be fine. Oh wait, this is going to block for 4 extra, because we're going to Fasting and get a Dex, and we're going to block for... 6 more with that. So this is going to block for 13, and this is going to block for 6. So it's 19 extra block. So we're going to go up to 33 block. So we can hit him twice. So if we can Eruption and Just Lucky on the Repulsor and Flying Sleeves on the Spiker and not take any damage. Okay, so we're going to Fasting first, which totally messes up the math, because now we don't need to... Oh man, now Eruption does 12 damage, which is the least convenient now. Drat. So if we Fasting, then this does 7 damage, and then with Eruption it does 14, which is very efficient for killing a Repulsor. So I guess we'll Eruption and Just Lucky on the Spiker. So we're still hitting the Spiker twice, we're just being more efficient about our damage. Okay. So there's Fasting, and then doing Erosion, or Eruption. And then we've got another Just Lucky. And we have Pen Nib, which we totally were aware of and didn't forget about at all. So let's go ahead and Just Lucky on him. I like all these for next turn, so I'll keep those. And then we're going to put the extra damage on the Spheric Guardian, keeping all of them again. And then we're going to get out of Wrath mode. Oh, we could have put the extra damage in the Spiker. I didn't realize I had that much extra block. But whatever, it probably doesn't matter. Okay, so we need to either kill the Spiker and block for 22, or we need to block for 31, or we can Smoke Bomb. How much can we block for? We can block for only 12? Oh, we're frail. I think we're Smoke Bombing. Let's see. Could we kill the Spheric Guardian? We can Cut Through Fate on him, and then maybe follow up. And, okay, let's Cut Through Fate on him, trying to answer the question, can we kill him? We can Bowling Bash, that's pretty good. Get rid of the other ones. So that does 26 to him. So we can kill him with Sash Whip Strike, but then the Spiker hits us and we can't block. But he's only hitting us for 9. It doesn't seem like it's really worth the Smoke Bomb. This is the trap I get caught into with Smoke Bomb. I'm like, How much damage is too much? I don't really know. I guess I should go back to my old standby of I expect potions to heal me for at least 10. And here I could have Duplication Potion heal me for 9. But surely that's not good enough, right? Oh, actually, did my math wrong. So Sash Whip Strike does not kill Sphere Guardian, but Sash Whip Smite does. It does exactly. Oh wait, no, yeah, it does exactly. So it's 20. All right, so let's do that. I guess Reach Heaven also does it. Oh wait, I guess I could. He hits for 11 if I just kill him, or 9 if I let him hit me. No, I can block him and kill him later. So I'm gonna try to save that 2 health. Alright. Or I can just block him and wait for Mercury Hourglass. So we have Ink Bottle set up. There's not really anything we can do with it. So I guess we'll just make sure we get the right card. And that right card is Cut Through Fate. We have 9 block, let's get a little bit more. And then Cut Through Fate. Okay. 4 miracles. We don't really need 4 miracles, that's kind of nuts. Do we take a free wallop? We had to pay for the last one. This one's free. Wallop is pretty good against Time Lord. We can also Omniscience it. No, we took the Protect. I think that was kind of our last, like, big defensive card. I think we're done picking attacks. And, like, any card, really. We don't want to start getting super inconsistent. Okay, Venomancer. So we can Eruption, and then play some attacks. If we Cut Through Fate before we Eruption, we could find Diva Form and change our mind. Let's just mulligan all these and see if we can find Diva Form. We did find Diva Form. So I think this is our Duplication Potion. We're going to Omniscience with Duplication Potion, so we're going to play Omniscience twice. One of them is going to be Diva Form. The other one is Fasting, probably. And then we're going to just Lucky twice. So let's take Diva Form and Fasting. So we've healed almost all the damage from the last fight. In fact, we did heal all the damage from the last fight. And then I guess I'll just Lucky on the one with more health because we're doing 18 damage to it. I'll keep Bowling Bash for sure, and Protect, but I'll get rid of Follow-Up. Oh. I'm going to restart the fight. Something weird happened that I didn't anticipate. I think the Duplication Pot hit the Diva. Yeah, so we ended up with 3 Divas. And 2 Fastings, which is pretty odd. I think it's pretty explicable for me to not anticipate that reaction. That's pretty odd. Okay. Okay, so we Cut Through Fate first, and then we got rid of all of them and got Omniscience, and then we Duplication Potted and Omniscience to play Diva Form. It's possible that now that we know that we're getting 3 of one of them and 2 of another one, that we take Fasting instead. In fact, I think I am going to do that, now that I know how this potion works. It is a little bit upsetting that we don't get the Dex from Kunai, but we're also getting 9 Dex from Fasting, so it doesn't. I'm not going to cry into my soup about it. Okay. So then we're blocking for 12 with this, and we're going to keep these 2 and get rid of follow-up. We'll keep follow-up. We're only going to have 3 energy next turn, so follow-up might be valuable for getting there in terms of kunai. But it turns out we didn't draw 3 attacks, so it doesn't matter. So I think that the attack order is in terms of how they were summoned. So like the front dagger would attack, and then Reptimancer would attack, and then the back dagger would attack, and then the 2 later daggers would attack, which matters for buffer. We can just kill her right now, though, which is just nuts. So we're doing 38 times 4, which is 120 plus 8 times 4, which is 32. Yeah, just Bowling Bash kills her. This is absolutely bonkers. Look at how much damage that is. Oh, I forgot, because it was pendant. That's why I did so much. Oh, look, we got Shuriken. Wow, I've had 3 runs recently where I got both Shuriken and Kunai, which is pretty crazy. And, yeah. Oh, you get 2 copies of it? I thought you would get to choose twice. Huh, okay. Well, this run is just, like, off the rails now. We're almost to the relic rollover point, too. We're at the super relic of the little arrow button. The best relic in the game. We're wasting another campsite. Sure. We could go for Heart. We can definitely probably kill Heart with this fight. Or with this deck, since we're so strong. It's hard not to want to do it. Nunchaku is good. No, the only thing we care about is winning this run, so that we can get to Ascension 20, and then we can kill the Ascension 20 Heart. It's disappointing to not take the Sapphire Key, but we're not going to do it. Tomorrow is really not what we're doing, though. Like, come on! Can we take the Sapphire Key? We have 0 Mantra Synergy. It would take 10 turns to go to Divinity Form. But once we went into Divinity Form, we would be able to... It's actually pretty possible that we would go into Divinity Form against Time Lord. That we just, like, wait him out and then go into Divinity Form and kill him in 1 turn. So we do have a higher win percentage if we take tomorrow than if we take Sapphire Key. So we're taking tomorrow. Okay. I love how Preserved Insight does 50 damage to Nemesis. It's so nuts. Alright, let's find Divinity Form. We could keep Carve Reality here, but it doesn't do the thing. Darn. Maybe we actually, we should do Just Lucky first. I forgot about that. So we should Scribe before we Cut Through Fate. That's a misplay, so I will redo it. We still don't find Cut Through Fate, or what's it called? Divinity Form, but at least we tried. Yeah, A20 is the next one. We're on A19 now, and once we get to A20, frig, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna reset this fight again because by the same logic, I should have Third Eyed before I Cut Through Fate. Ugh. Okay, so we're gonna Just Lucky and Third Eye before we Cut Through Fate because we want to find Diva Form. Okay. Get rid of these. Get rid of these. Where are you at, Diva Form? There we go, we found it. Keep Just Lucky and Follow-Up, so we might actually be able to get a Dex next turn. Oh wait, next turn we're going to be in Diva Form. So I'll keep... Well, next turn he's immune, so Just Lucky is good because it blocks. We'll get rid of follow-up. Okay. We're in Diva form. Ooh, we found Deceive Reality. That's spicy. Okay, so we can play Fasting to get extra dex, or we can play 3 attacks to get extra dex, and then we, let's see, we only need to block for 7, so we probably need to go into Vigilance. Let's see, are there any 1-cost attacks in there or not? Or 0-cost attacks is what I meant to say. I could have had 1 in hand. I'm not sure why I decided to mulligan it away, but I did follow up. So we need to block for 7. We could just Fasting Deceive Reality for that. So we can do 3 attacks. Okay, so we're going to Fasting, and then 3 attacks, and then Deceive Reality. Cool. We don't want any of these, but we're going to keep them all because if we cycle too fast, we're going to get back to the burns sooner. Oh, oops! I forced an early shuffle and didn't need the block with Ink Bottle. Oh, Ink Bottle! I always forget about you. Can we Omniscience and just play a burn to exhaust it? Does it damage us if we play it? Is that even an option? It says unplayable. It says play the chosen card twice and exhaust it. Huh. It's unclear to me what would happen if we Omniscience to burn. But we could also just Omniscience some like damage because what if we Omniscience Wrath? And then, like, cut through Fate and stuff. Let's cut through Fate first and make sure... Let's see. I always do this kind of stuff and then risk dying. Okay, if it looks like we're going to die, we'll just Smoke Bomb out of the fight. Can't die if you already won. Okay, gambling chip. Oh, we did it. We got this. We got the little scroll bar. We got a second copy of Diva form. Last run was an alpha run, and I at the end of Act 1 did Pandora's Box. Because I had a Toxic Egg. Actually, that Pandora's Box was at the end of Act 2, I think. And I was really upset initially because I got a second copy of Alpha Plus. And I was like, oh no, my opening hands are going to be ruined, right? Like, I've got 2 Alphas sitting in there doing nothing. But then I realized, after I played the deck a little bit, that in fact this is really good because finding the beta is the most important thing the deck is doing. And if you play 2 alphas on turn 1, then you sort of, on average, shuffle a beta 1/3 of the way into the deck and another one 2/3 of the way into the deck, rather than shuffling 1 beta on average half the way into the deck. So you're way more resilient to the bad condition of like your beta is on the bottom of your deck. And in the same way, I think having 2 Diva forms is fine for this deck. A, because we have 28 cards, so we're kind of fat. And B, because Omniscience only finds Diva forms that are in your deck. But mostly because we need to find that first Diva form. The first Diva form is really important, and if we take another Diva form right now, then we have sort of 3 cards that count as the first copy of Diva form, Omniscience, and Diva form. So we'll take it. And we're going to get rid of this Smoke Bomb. There's no way we're failing a fight. We are so strong. He says, immediately jinxing himself. Okay. We are looking for Diva Form. We'll keep Cut Through Fate because it helps us look for Diva Form. Okay, we're gonna Just Lucky first, and then Cut Through Fate. When we do Cut Through Fate, we have to look at what Writhing Mass is doing, because if it's something bad, we need to take an attack rather than Divinity. We're gonna leave Cut Through Fate on top, so that if we need to, with this Cut Through Fate, we can take the second Cut Through Fate. Okay, so he's attacking us for 16, so we can go into Diva Form and it will bounce off of our barrier, and it's not a big deal. We'll get rid of the Omniscience because it's not really necessary, and we'll get rid of Reach Heaven too because it's kind of expensive. Oh, he doesn't change until after you scry, because I looked. It's kind of disappointing. I thought you could tell. What card did I leave on top of the deck? Because I'm going to draw it with Ink Bottle. I wish I was paying attention to that when I made the decision, but I wasn't. We could change it one more time, but then we'd risk taking a curse, and taking a curse is way worse than taking 9 damage, which is what's happening here. So we can heal most of that damage by Omnisciencing the other Diva Form and playing Fasting, because those heal us a little bit. Or this Power Pot also heals us for 4. So if we Fasting and then strike Sash Whip, do we have enough to protect? We don't. That costs 4, and then we'd only have a little bit more. So I guess maybe we strike Sash Whip, or I guess Bowling Bash because it does more damage. But Bowling Bash, Sash Whip to weaken him, and then strike if it's an emergency, and it's totally not. So we can actually just afford Fasting here. And I could strike again to get a Strength and a Dex, but I'm not going to do that because it's a bad idea. Writhing Mass, bad. Okay, why is he blocking for so much? That's confusing. We could play 3 attacks. We're probably not going to. But let's go ahead and get a little bit of damage in. Oh, there's only 2 cards in the deck. I was confused because I was like, shouldn't I be scrying for 3? I'll leave the 3rd eye here. And now he's only attacking for 9, so I will, I guess, block it. Yeah. Should I Simmering Fury? I think getting some more draw is pretty good. So let's go ahead and Simmering Fury. Alright. Let's go ahead and Flying Sleeps. He's back to attacking for 36. Let's reset him again. Now he's attacking for even more. I didn't know he had even more damage attack. Let's Cut Through Fate. I'll take the other Cut Through Fate. And we have to think about blocking at some point. But I think we can try one more Cut Through Fate. I'll keep a Just Lucky and leave Curve Reality on top. Uh-oh. I'll leave Sash Whip there too. Okay, so he's back to attacking. I think we can block for 48. Because this is blocking for 10 plus 17. That's only 37. But then we're already blocking for 7, so it'd be 44. And we can also 3rd eye. So yeah, I'll just take this. I'll take the block out. No need to poke the bear anymore. I don't think we want to reach Heaven or Simmering Fury anymore. And Vigilance would be nice to get out of Wrath at some point. I guess his Protect is only blocking for 9, but whatever. And I'll Master Reality to heal for 2. Ooh, we got another Fasting. That heals for 2. Wait, shouldn't Dead Branch not give you powers if you have Birdface turn? I guess, because otherwise you have to, like, as long as you can generate cards that exhaust themselves, that your optimal play is totally warped by trying to heal with Birdface turn. That seems like an unfun way to play the game. Okay, so he's attacking for... why is he hitting me for 27? Oh, because we're vulnerable. So he's hitting for 9, and then it gets multiplied by 3 because it's times 2 and times 1.5. If we get out of Vigilance, he will be hitting us for just regular 9 times 1.5, which is 14. Wait, does it round up when it's vulnerable? I thought they took all that stuff out, but I guess, yeah. I guess what did it used to be? It used to be like you could, oh yeah, if you were Defect, you could go look for self-repairs and stuff. With Creative AI. I think that's the main one they took out. Yeah. Maybe they should just take Birdface Urn out of the game. It's not like... There's so many relics now that it's not like critical that it remain. So Fastic heals for 2, and then we can Vigilance and defray most of the damage. We can also triple attack, although it's a little bit scary. So let's Fasting first, and then Carve Reality and see what he's up to. Still attacking. Let's go ahead and weaken him. And now he's cursing, so now we have to hit him again. Oh wait, we totally have lethal. This doesn't do a great job of setting up either Pen Nib or Ink Bottle, but it's too much thinking, man. I can't do it. I think Duplication Potion is better than Strength Potion, especially now that we have Shuriken. We were thinking about buying a Strength Potion way back when at a store, but that was before we got Shuriken, I think. How do we have so many relics? Jesus. These don't do the thing that we need to do. Worship is a little bit better now that we have Damaru, but still not good enough to go in the deck. We're not Stance Dancing, we don't need more attacks, and Evaluate is kind of good. It's like a neutral draw card that says block on it, but we don't really want to do that against Time Lord, so we're not going to pick it. Alright, more elites. We're doing Reptimancer again. Let's replace all the cards that don't either scry or draw to try and find Diva Form. Hey, we found Diva Form. That was easy. So now we just want to attack 3 times. This kills that one, so let's do that. We don't want Simmering Form or Vigilance, but I'll keep Sash Whip for next turn. Oh, shoot. I tried to leave something on top, but then I wanted to Cut Through Fate. I guess I could just not Cut Through Fate. Feels bad to miss out on 1 Dex and 1 block, but it does keep a barrier. 1 Dex and 1 block versus a barrier and having some card that I chose to be on top of my deck still on top of my deck. I think the card was Sash Whip? Yeah, it was Sash Whip. So it is wasted if I play Cut Through Fate, because I'm forced to either draw it or mulligan it. If I do Cut Through Fate, I can't find Just Lucky because I played both. Oh no, I could find Just Lucky. which would do, let's see, it does 3 damage by itself, so it would do 4 damage because we would proc. So it's still not enough damage to kill this dagger. But it would be, no, it wouldn't be enough to block either. Okay, so we're gonna block and keep our. The buffer charger is not crazy useful in this fight because Reptomancer has a multi-attack, but whatever, we'll keep it around. Okay, so Sash Whip looks like an AoE, just like the art on the card, because you're like spinning around, and like you're hitting a. I guess that could be either a cultist or a bird. I was assuming it was a bird, but maybe it's a cultist. And like hitting a bunch of people, but I guess that's not how the card works. So, if we fasting, we can cut through fate and kill him, and then Sash Whip and weaken her. That would make it so that her first attack hits the Horn Cleat defense, and her second attack hits the barrier, and then I would take 18 from these. And if Cut Through Fate draws an attack, I would get 3 attacks again. Or I could try and do Cut Through Fate and Sash Whip to draw a block card and then block twice. I think that's less good. I think we need to stack up our stats here. Wait, is there a reason I'm doing fasting? What are we hitting with Cut Through Fate here? Oh, I see. Yeah, because Cut Through Fate is supposed to kill him, and then Sash Whip. Okay, alright. Let's get rid of Ascender's Bane for sure. I think we're looking for a third attack this turn, because our block doesn't matter, because her second attack is going to go through it anyway. So we'll Sash Whip her, and totally forget about Pen Nib, and waste it on a strike. Oh, we got 1 extra energy. So we can actually block both of her attacks. I saw 3 things light up. I was like, Kunai and Shuriken lit up, but then what else lit up? It was Shaku, which I was not tracking. There's way too many numbers in this top bar area. I can't keep track of them all. Like, Ink Bottle and Pen Nib is enough to throw me off. And then also Kunai and Shuriken. And like, I'm always surprised when Letter Opener goes off, and I'm never expecting Nunchaku. I'm a mess. I guess I'll block, because why not? Carve Reality is good. I don't really want Reach Heaven. I need to remove Reach Heaven from the deck. It's not doing anything anymore. I'll leave the Protect and Bowling Bash and get rid of the Strike. Okay. Alright, we gotta kill some daggers. Bowling Bash kills 1, Carve Reality, Smite kills the other one, and that's 3 attacks. So that seems good. We are missing out on 2 health from playing Diva Form, but, you know, that's not really a big deal. Ooh, we got Inner Peace. Gets us a Shuffle, and, I don't know, something else. Cut Through Fates. We can potentially get the other copy of Just Lucky and get an extra proc. Oh my god, we did! Wow. Extra dex. Let's get rid of the wound and leave the Sash Whip follow-up. Get rid of the wound. I think I changed my mind on follow-up too. I thought I was losing 2 health when I let that Diva Form go away, but technically I could play Omega and get 2 health back again. Bowling Bash does 16 times 3 is 48 damage. 48 plus 16 is 64, plus anything is lethal. Is it a bad idea to play 3 cards? It's actually a great idea to play 3 attacks, because it sets up Pen Nib. while of course wasting the ink bottle charge. We should play some defends here to stack up ink bottle again. So we'll play Simmering Fury and Vigilance. Okay. Drawing 2 additional cards seems like something I would like. Ceramic Fish does not matter at all. And I think Flexpot is worse than both of the other ones. Yeah, it definitely is. It's so stupid because I have White Beast Statue, and then in every fight I am wasting the potion reward. These don't do enough to be in the deck. They all cost like 0 and 1, which is kind of valuable because I want the Diva Form turn to be possible, but mostly not valuable. Skipping all the rewards. Alright, 2 more hallway fights and then we get to fight the big bad. Okay, so we don't need 2 Diva Forms or Omniscience, so we'll get rid of those. We're not going to play both Diva Form and Fasting. These are all good because they do damage to him. There's an argument to be made that we keep Fasting and do that instead of Diva Form this turn, but it's a Diva Form deck. What are you going to do? So there's Diva Form, and then we'll do Cut Through Fate because it does more damage than Just Lucky. I don't think we need to do Flying Sleeves this turn, so if we're doing 14, 28, plus 12, that is enough to get rid of all Transience damage, so we can hold Flying Sleeves. I want to keep Eruption for next turn, so I'm going to play 2 Cut Through Fates. So I'm going to have the Cut Through Fates draw Vigilance and Follow Up, and I'm going to get rid of Strike and leave Eruption for next turn. Which also means that we're not doing anything with the Just Luckies. Except for maybe getting rid of cards that are after Eruption. Actually, I'm going to leave the Strikes too, because they are blocks against Transient. Oops, I ink bottled, but then I left Vigilance on top anyway. Seems like a mistake, maybe it wasn't. We have 2 on both. I can play the Strike, and then we get to keep Flying Sleeves. Neat. We are definitely not taking any damage this fight. Hopefully we should be able to heal up as well. If we can find a turn where we can like Omniscience out a power or something. Or maybe just Fasting. Let's go ahead and go into Eruption, or into Wrath. And then Reach Heaven, and Strike. And then we'll Third Eye to try and get back to Fasting as fast as possible. We'll keep Carve Reality. Protect is not very good in this fight, so we'll get rid of both of those. And then Defend to stack up Ink Bottle. Alright, we'll play some attacks. Ooh, there's a Fasting. Sure. This might be another Transient kill here. Let's see, we've got no stacks on Kunai and Shuriken, so we could play 3 attacks right now. I think that I would rather just double defend Bowling Bash, which stacks up Ink Bottle and lets me retain cards to make sure that I'm not taking damage later. Which is kind of less fun, but also probably correct. It's the highest win percentage play, but not the highest Omega wall. So we're going to Third Eye before Cut Through Fate to try and find a power that we can play. We'll leave Just Lucky and Cut Through Fate. Yeah. Cut Through Fate. There's another power. Let's see. So he hasn't finished updating. Oh, he has. Okay, so we can, if we hit him with a Smite or Flying Sleeves, I think we'll be able to get his damage down to 0. And then we can heal for 2 with Diva Form. So we're going to hit him for 38, which is more than half of 78, so he will be hitting us for 0. Or we could do 22 twice, which is even more damage. 32 is not as much as half of 78, but... oh, no, he would hit us for 1, I think. Let's see. So 32... so his real damage is 39, right? So if I do 32, and he's still attacking for 7, and then I have 14 block. So I can do Strike, or actually I could do... Yeah, I can do Strike, and then Diva Form to heal for 2, and then keep my retain attacks. Right? Yeah, he's hitting for 14. Okay, so I'm healing for 2. Alright. And then fasting puts me in full health, so great. And then we'll just play a bunch of random attacks. We should think about Pen Nib, but we can't think about this turn. We can think about it next turn. Maybe we shouldn't have played that last attack, but whatever. Okay. So let's see. We can Omniscience Reach Heaven, which is 2 attacks. And 3 cards for Ink Bottle. And then now we're trying to get Pen Nib back to being stacked up, so we're playing as many attacks as we can, basically. We can't Stance Dance to get more energy, so we can still only play 1 attack. And then I'll play and Evaluate to get Ink Bottle back a little bit. So we're back up to 5 on Pen Nib, which is not terrible. Pen Nib and Nunchaku are synchronized, which is not guaranteed, but it's convenient. Eight plated armor. It's actually pretty good against Time Lord. We're not picking any of these because they're all really awkward, and I don't need them. 8 plated armor versus 4 health and 2 powers, though, is pretty not good. And versus duplication put, I think, is also not good enough, so we're gonna skip that. Okay, here is the Dreaded Darklings. Shouldn't be too problematic. They're attacking for 21 on the first turn. We're gonna look for Diva Form. We should probably try and have 3 attacks also, so we could keep these 3. Actually, this one's 2 attacks, so that's sort of more than we need. Keep Sash Whip because it defrays some damage. Hey, we found Diva Form. So we'll play Diva Form, and then let's see. If we play Diva Form and 3 attacks, then we don't have any block, but let's see, what else could we do? We could play 3 attacks and then Just Lucky. So Just Lucky would block for 4, which is totally meaningless because it's less than 9. But if we Sash Whip, then he's weak, so he would be hitting me for 5 versus my 4 armor and overcoming my barrier by 1. So I think the only meaningful thing I can do to reduce damage is either Cut Through Fate and find a card, or Sash Whip on the guy in the back. So let's Cut Through Fate first. Let the guy who's armoring next turn. Third Eye is good enough to block the front guy. And then I can follow up and Just Lucky and Diva Form. So that seems good. So, follow up, Just Lucky. Ooh, definitely keep Bowling Dash. I'll get rid of Just Lucky though. And then Diva Form and third guy. Okay, so we're blocking the damage from the front guy, and the second guy is bouncing off the buffer. That's fine. Okay, we don't care about second Diva form, I don't think. We have a lot of block thanks to Horn Cleat, and we can protect if we need. We can't get 3 attacks, so we probably shouldn't play Flying Sleeves. So we can just Bowling Bash and double block. Let's see. Actually, we can just Vigilance and then retain Protect. This does 33 damage. We'll put it on the guy who is armoring up. We could Flying Sleeves to kill him, but that doesn't. We don't really want to do that, so let's block out. Wait for next turn. Ooh, Conclude is pretty good in this fight. That's neat. Can we win this turn? Probably. So Conclude does 26, which is enough to kill him right now. So we just need... And Flying Sleeves is currently pen-nibbed, so it does 20. 20 plus 26 is 46, which is unfortunately not quite enough to kill him. Let's see, if we do... so we'd have to use the... We're not going to find... or we could find Just Lucky. I guess... If we cut through Fate on... So if we do 26... Oh, sorry, 26 is with Pen Nib. So in reality, this is only going to do 13. So I think our dreams of doing it all this turn is probably not going to happen. Okay, so let's just aim for 3 attacks and blocking out. So playing 2 of these blocks out, and then... okay, so let's hit the guy with the highest health, the lowest health that's armoring up next turn. Get rid of that defend because we don't need it. Okay, we got Third Eye. Can set that guy up for dying. Play both blocks, and then play Carve Reality to... Oops, we're killing this guy on accident. I forgot about that. I forgot about the Conclude that's going to happen. So we're doing that, and then we're already blocked to 14, so we're going to conclude. Let's go ahead and Third Eye just so we set up for next turn. We don't really need Omniscience. We'll keep Cut Through Fate and Sashwood. And then we're concluding. Okay, should be able to kill them both next turn. Okay, this is the lowest damage attack, so we'll use it right there. Get rid of all these. Does Bowling Bash still count them as alive? It does not. And then we are doing a really pretty decent job of setting up Ink Bottle and Pen Nib for next fight, so let's just let that ride. I think these are among the best potions we can have for duplication, so I don't think we're messing with them. Neither of these are good for Time Lord, although Third Eye's alright. Yeah, I guess, so the reason why these are better than Dexterity Potion is because sometimes this hits like fasting or something. And then we're already getting Dexterity stacking over the course of the fight, so we don't need a potion to do it. Taking yet another unnecessary campfire. I think it was 3 or 4 campfires this run that we just completely did not need. So we're probably Omnisciencing Diva form. Should we also be playing our Power Potion this turn? I'm a little bit afraid of digging too deep with Gambling Chip, because then if we find Diva form, we can't Omniscience it. Actually, do we really want to Omniscience it? We kind of just want to play it. Because we would rather Omniscience fasting later. Okay. So let's get rid of those. Okay, so we just found Diva form. So can we get 3 attacks this turn? kind of depends on Cut Through Fate. So let's see what Cut Through Fate gets. No zero cost attacks here, so I'll go looking for one. And did not find one. So then I'll Satch Whip, get some debuffs on him, and set up the Diva Farm. Empty Mind and Scrawl are both terrible against Time Lord. It's too bad. Alright, we are just trying to do 3 attacks and block. We've got 2 copies of Protect in hand. He is attacking for 27. We need 13 more block. Can we get Dex and then do Just Lucky and Protect to block? So Protect is on the card saying that it wants to block for, it's 12, right? It's 12, so 12 plus currently 1 Dex, but it's going to be 2 Dex, so as we talked about before, that doesn't hit a breakpoint, so the 1 Dex does give 1 extra block on Protect. Just Lucky is currently blocking for 2, because it should be blocking for 3, and then it's getting 25% less, so that's 1. So if it gets 1 more, it would be up to 4, which is not crossing a breakpoint. It reaches a breakpoint, but doesn't cross it. So if I get 1 more Dex on both of those, they do both block for 1 more. And then it would be blocking for 3 plus 10, which is 13. So it'd be blocking for 27, which is perfect. So how do I get there? We have enough cards to get there. We've Cut Through Fate, Flying Sleeves, Reach Heaven, Just Lucky Protect, but I think that's too much mana, because that's 6 mana. We could use the Duplication Potion, or we could hope that Cut Through Fate draws Just Lucky, which it's fairly likely to do. Yeah, let's see what Cut Through Fate's got. There we go. Okay, so we found Just Lucky. So we can retain Flying Sleeves. And let's get rid of both of these. Or just the strike, we'll leave the follow-up. And this is now overblocking by a little bit, but that's fine. Wait, shouldn't it be overblocking by more? I must have done the math wrong somehow. Oh, I didn't have Dex for either of the, whatchamacallit, the zero cost attacks, because I used them both to get the Dex, which is why my math was off. Okay, so I can strike, follow up to get procs, and then I can protect. I don't really want to be playing 4 cards this turn, though. I would rather play either 5 or, like, 2. I think I'm going to save the Power Potion until I've taken some damage. I think I could probably just kill Time Lord without spending either potion, because this run is insanely overpowered. So I'm going to save this for an emergency where I need to heal. We could Empty Mind to exit out of Wrath, do some extra damage. But we're not even healing properly yet. So if we assume we're doing 3 cards, 3 attacks, then we've only got room for 2 blocks. I think so. Let's see. If we protect after getting 1 Dex, we're going to block for 15, which is really unfortunate because it means we barrier away at 1 damage, which is not ideal. But if we go into Eruption, then he's hitting for too much, and he would hit for 16 on the first hit, and we would be barriering away 2 damage. We could just not block at all, and lose 8 more life than we would otherwise, and leave 2 cards for next turn. Or we could duplication potion and only protect twice. I think I kind of like that. It's not super efficient, but I think it's correct. So we're going to strike, follow up, strike, and then use duplication block. Do we use Scrawl here? Scrawl is like a really bad card against Time Lord, but right now we can't proc Kunai, so I think this is the time for it. I don't know why Mental Fortress just showed up on screen. Where did that come from? Oh, it must have come from Dead Branch. Yeah, because the card exhausted. Okay. So I think it's time to Fasting. Fasting 3 attacks. I don't think... Well, actually, we could just 6 attack. We've got 2 Cut Through Fates and Bowling Bash and Strike. So we're almost certain to be able to do it. We could even fit in a Reach Heaven since we're going to find Just Lucky most likely. And then we could save Fasting for later when we're injured. I'm sort of starting to think this later when I'm injured is never going to happen, but whatever. I'll take both Just Luckies and play one of them. I'll leave Sash up there and have it joined by Through Violence. I would normally save the Pen Nib for the Through Violence, but I would rather get 2 Strength. So I'll use it on the Flying Sleeves. And then we will... Actually, I could Just Lucky and Fasting even and get 2 procs and develop Fasting, which I think is it's plenty good enough. We don't need to go nuts here. I am... no, I'm going to keep Sash Whip. It still gets rid of damage. Okay, so we've only got 4 cards for next turn, but that's probably enough. We should be way outscaling him here. So we can play 3 attacks and Third Eye, or we can play... we're definitely going to play Sash Whip, so let's play Sash Whip first. So probably we're going to play Sash Whip, Cut Through Fate, and 2 block cards, but that only works if Cut Through Fate draws us a block card. So let's do Cut Through Fate first, and if it's if we don't want to play Sash Whip for some reason, we can decide that after. So there is a block card, so we'll take that. And we'll Sash Whip to get rid of some damage, and block for 20 and take 13. Oh, we still have Barrier up, so if we block for... Sorry, train sounds. So if we block for 20, we are going to lose a barrier to just 1 damage, and this defend actually doesn't do anything. So let's go ahead and just follow up and get an extra proc, and then Third Eye. So we're taking 22, but whatever. We'll keep Omniscience for next turn. Let's see, is there anything we actually want to Omniscience? Fasting is gone. The other Diva form is gone. There is a Mental Fortress in there now. No, there's nothing we want Omniscience. So we'll keep Cut Through Fate, Carve Reality, and Protect. Oh man, his extra strength... oh wait, no, his extra strength was paired with my extra... whatever. Okay, so we're going to try and 3 attack this turn and develop Mental Fortress, I think, is all we care about. So let's Cut Through Fate first and see what's up. We're going to leave that defend for next turn and take the Bowling Bash now. I don't know if we're going to play the Bowling Bash, but... I guess that I can play Bowling Bash to keep the two retain attacks in hand and still get a proc. And we'll play Mental Fortress for the healing and maybe some block later. So we're getting pretty close to Divinity, and we've got a Smite and a Through Violence in our hands, so we're doing a pretty good job of setting up for his transformation. How much damage is that going to do? So if we're assuming we're not disabled like we are now, then Through Violence is supposed to do 20 damage. It does 20 plus 9 right now, so it does 29 damage, and then triple of that is 87. So we're doing 87 with this, and then if we were able to develop 3 of those, that would kill him. Oh wait, no it wouldn't. Oh yeah, it would, if he's down to 240. But we've got bigger problems this turn because he's attacking us for 18 times 3, which is quite a bit of damage. So let's figure out how we're blocking that. 18 times 3 is 54. So let's see, if we use both protects, then he's hitting us for 18 plus 4, which is 22. So we could do both protects, vigilance, defend to block out, which is 7 mana. So then we'd have 2 left to potentially do attacks, and I think we would do Reach Heaven, which seems like an okay plan. He is hitting us for a lot. Didn't think about that. So we could do these 2 instead of vigilance. So we would have an extra mana, but it doesn't really matter. So I'll take the extra 2 block. Are we okay having 3 cards next turn? I think we are. Yeah, not too much we can do about it. We could have powered up to just block him that turn. Okay. So I think we want to get him... Do we want his next turn to be his healing turn? Alright, we have to bust out the calculator again. I hope everybody's excited for math time! Yay! Alright, so we're going to get out 2 calculators, like before. Okay, so Through Violence does 29 times 3, not times 4.5, because he's not going to be vulnerable, because that's not part of our deck. So we're doing 87 times 2 right now, which is 174. And then we're adding in Smite, which is 21 times 3. So we're going plus 63 is 237. And then we're going to add 13 times 6, because it's times 3 times 2. So we're adding 78. Okay, so my Divinity turn damage is 315. So it doesn't really matter if he is healing or not. We just have to survive 2 turns. Because 315 is more than he even heals back up to. Okay, we could Empty Mind to block for 4 and draw 2 cards. Our only source of block right now is Vigilance. So if our max block is Empty Mind and Vigilance, because that changes stances twice for 8 block. Oh, let me change my OBS view back. So that gets 8 block and draws some cards. So maybe I would find a good block card for the third card. And it did. So he's attacking for 36, so I want to continue blocking. Let's see. So we're drawing these next turn. I don't think we really want any of them. We'll keep the defend. Okay, so we just punch him as hard as we can this turn because he's just defending. Oh, he is debuffing me. So we are actually going to be... we're going to have less than that 315 damage available. Shoot. I think we probably just do nothing. And then we would draw, let's see. Maybe we just lucky so that we can peer into the future a little bit and try and make sure we're getting lots of attack cards for next turn. Let's do that. We don't want Omniscience. Unless we do? I don't think we do. So Omniscience costs 3 cards, but it is... You do get to choose an attack card. Alright, we'll keep Omniscience. Was that a good call? So Omniscience will double cast, probably Bowling Bash. Maybe Cut Through Fate, maybe Carve Reality, but probably Bowling Bash. Maybe Reach Heaven, actually. And then we have Pen Nib right now, so we're going to save the Pen Nib for Divinity turn. And we're going to actually have 2 turns to do it, because we're going to have that big, massive power spike of damage, and then he's going to try to heal, and then we're going to prevent him from healing by killing him. Okay. I think going into Divinity form should also purge all your debuffs. That would be cool. Alright, so Through Violence is obviously the most damage, so we're going to do that. Yeah, this turn there are no party poopers because we do not need to block. We've got enough health to just tank it, so... and we're probably killing him. Yeah, definitely, because we're going to Reach Heaven and then Omniscience the Through Violence. Kapow! Kapow! Okay. Good fight, Time Lord. I always think that I'm not going to have enough damage to get through the reset, but then I can always get through the reset, so whatever. Alright, so we have unlocked Ascension Mode 20, and that's going to change how I'm doing these runs a little bit, because the goal is to kill the heart on Ascension 20. And before we got to Ascension 20, that just meant try to get to the next Ascension as much as you can, but now that we're on Ascension 20, we don't care about winning unless it's killing the heart. So the goal has changed. And honestly, that run would have absolutely won Ascension 20. The only thing that changes in Ascension 20 is you get an extra boss, and like that deck would have had no problem killing the extra boss. Would have had no problem with the Act 4 elites. The heart is always a bit of a challenge, so I don't want to say it would have been no problem, but I think I would have gone into it with 2 potions, and I think it would have been fine. So that's going to be it for the stream today. Thanks for coming, everybody. I appreciate all of the comments and chat. It was really lively today. Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks. Bye.